guys.
Hey guys, how are you guys? Happy Friday.
Hey,
Hey, we got Jimmy in the house. Jimmy.
Jimmy. How are you, Jimmy?
listen, I don't know how I made it, but I'm here, guys. It's super cool. I was in the wood for the last week and just run down the mountain at a shower and jump in my computer, and you can see me. It's magic.
I love it. We love it. What have you been busy working? Sorry, I'm just
Yeah, we're doing a project, a copper nickel project right now in Canada, on the eastern side of Canada, with slam exploration. And this is
Anything interesting happened since we last spoke, Jimmy? Have you found a meteor? What have you found?
we actually find good stuff, but this slam exploration is a public company, like I said last week, and we don't have a press release yet explaining what we found this week. So I'm not allowed to talk about what we found. So next week, maybe.
Oh, we'll keep an eye out on the the press releases for sure.
If we see Jimmy turning up next Friday in a Lamborghini or something like that, then we know.
That's what we need.
Just walking like, guys.
Oh, there you go. Look, go on, Anton. We still love you, mate. Here I am, the main hit. We didn't realize it was your AI bot. We thought it was you throwing out them.
Throwing out that shade.
No, all love, Anton.
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Can you guys hear me well? I really bad. I'm connected on my phone, and it's pretty bad signal.
That's fine, Jimmy.
Okay, that's awesome. Perfect.
Listen, me and Umar have spent thousands on the great setups, the mics, sprucing ourselves up, and you come running down a mountain, chuck it on your phone, and you still look better than both of us. So it's all good, man.
You're glowing, Jimmy. You're glowing.
Jimmy, whatever you're doing on those mountains, keep doing it, man. But yeah, guys,
that's nice of you.
We had a great chat last week, Jimmy. You were there as well, and by the way, loads of people really love your personality, man. So we'll definitely have you on a lot more often.
That's
I think
awesome.
Few people probably didn't believe us that you get your hands dirty in the trenches, and then when we showed that photo, I think a lot of people appreciate that.
They loved the photo. I had a few.
Well, I can tell you guys, it's the first podcast of my life, and it's super cool. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you both, and it's pretty awesome. I thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate that.
You know what? We love having interesting people on, and also educating the audience about the guys behind these companies, people like yourself who understand mining better than us. We never proclaim to be the mining experts, but we're just some young, hungry kids who are like, hey, look, there's an opportunity here. Look, we're seeing gold at all-time highs. Commodities are soaring. Even the juniors are performing really well. I've invested in a few juniors, and they perform really well, good returns. So I think the market is really ripe for this kind of content, right? So it's people want to know more. They're investing more. So it's kind of the more we can do. And I'm just looking at the chat. W's in the chat. Liam. Liam, you're meant to be here.
Umar, you want to give Jimmy a bit of context why we say W's as well?
W's just mean wins. People, so the younger audience, they just start typing W in the chat. So when you say
W, mean wins. Oh, okay.
Winning.
Like the letter W.
But if they put an L in there, that means you're a loser. So
I see. Okay.
But no, Jimmy, go for it. So
we closed. We did have a press release this morning. We closed $700,000 this morning at 8 cents for the company. It's the first tranche of financing. It's pretty good, and it's trading at 7 cents. And we closed almost $1 million at 8 cents this morning. So it's not too late to buy.
You've heard that from the man himself. Is that for the slam exploration, right?
Yeah, it's on the TSX Venture in Canada here. It's SXL.V. It's a slam exploration in Canada here. It's that's the one that was released this morning. So I'm allowed to talk about this one, but the rest is. The rest is you can see that I just took off my boot and my.
yeah. So you're ready. You're just. So you, obviously, if you missed our last chat with Jimmy's not traditional geologist. You had an interesting story where you went to an event with some rocks and you ended up pretty much winging it, as they say in the UK. You winged it and you made yourself 250K. Was your first exit, right? Am I right?
Yeah, that's about it. It was supposed to be a TV show, honestly, in 2016, and it turned into a business. That was a funny start, but this is how it started. Absolutely, you're right. And it's.
Jimmy, what would you say to young investors? Like, how would you position the junior sector? How would you? What's a good question? How would you convince? We were talking a lot about management. We were talking about teams, and we were talking about how to pick the right stock. What would your advice be to people who don't really understand mining, don't even know what juniors are? Explain to the audience what are juniors? What's your picture of it?
Well, the junior mining company is they really rarely go in production, right? They will just going to explore. It's almost like there's a guy with a car with no muffler here. Sorry, guys. It's always like a step. Like you got the prospector. If you want a chain before production, you got the prospector. Often the prospector will sell their project to a junior mining company. The junior mining company will develop it, and when there's a resource that's valuable, like a major company will buy them and put them in production, right? So we kind of a step two. We are in this junior mining space. COVID hit us pretty bad because people invested a lot into the producer, right? There's less they produce, they make money. We don't make money. We just spend money. You know what I mean? We just spend money. So but what happened with the junior, it's coming back really fast right now. It's super interesting. It's a good time to buy because they all went down in the COVID. And right now it's going back up. It's a good timing. But what happened with junior, what I love juniors, and be careful, again, the team and the project is very important, but also there's a bunch of junior that will raise $1 million and write paycheck for $1 million to the management team, right? It's just like, you need the money to go in the ground and stuff. But what happened in junior, when we hit something good, we hit slams, the market cap's $8 or $9 million. I hit good on this project, it's $1 billion. So you win, it's time 100. It's not time 10, it's time 100. So that's what is the risky business in the junior. So, but you need to pick the right juniors that don't. There's a good friend of mine, really successful friend of mine, said there's two junior companies. There's the junior mining company that mines in investors' pockets, and there's the junior mining company that mines the actual mountain, right? Okay. And you need to be careful you don't put your money in the company that's mine the investors' pockets. that's what it is. And I like that. But it is.
I agree with you, Jimmy. I agree with you. It's like, me coming from a retail background, one thing I've learned is, how hard it is to pick a really good junior as well. There's so many of them. I'm not sure how many. I think it's about 1,400 or more that on the Toronto Stock Exchange. And
yes, but it's more.
And AX, probably more, right? And it's like, sieving through them is or finding the right junior is a typically hard job. And that's where we try to come in and try to help juniors get more exposure. But the way we want to do is we want to work with the guys that you said, the ones that are not putting it in their pocket and they're interested in hey, look, I want to give my investors a good return. But also really focus on the actual asset and and the exit strategy as well. So that's really important. So the exit strategy is really important, I think, as an investor, and definitely the management team. And there is some really good juniors out there.
Absolutely.
Do you invest yourself into any other juniors, or do you just invest into yourself?
Yes, no, I do invest in other juniors as well. I'm a big shareholder of several juniors, friends of mine, mostly friends of mine that I know that I can trust. And I can tell you that when I jumped into Slam, it's almost a year ago now, I was half retired. And I was just and having investing in my friend's company. But when I saw Slam's press release and Mike Taylor, the current president, projects, I just called him and I said, dude, I just see you financing. I'll take what you got left over, and give me some space in your company, and I kind of and jump full time in that company. But it's pretty fantastic what Mike put together. Like he started this company in 1996. And there's a bunch of projects he sold, and he got royalty on that in the company and stuff. And when I get in, it's a little higher now. But when I get in, it was at 3 cents a share. And I said, you know what? So me and my friends and very like close family, we bought a big part of that company, and now we just jumping that. But I do have investment in several of other friends' company around that I trust, and yeah, absolutely. I can send you my portfolio if you want to share it.
Yeah, somebody drop some names.
Yours.
You got some names, Jimmy, of these companies. You have to share that.
That is good one. I mean, there's good juniors. I don't know if I shouldn't ask them if I can mention the names, but it's there's good junior out there. There's bad juniors. There's bad big company as well, major as well, and there's good prospector. There's bad prospector. It's just
you just got to sift through the bullshit, as they say. You have to find out the right ones, and investing into a junior, like especially for the younger people, as we're trying to promote like that it's that appetite to them, and moving them into the junior space is kind of like it's quite a hard job, because they're really into crypto. Like the last call we had Dean on there, and he didn't even know he was on a call with people who are in the mining industry. He was like, oh, this must be a lot about Bitcoin mining, and I'm like, no brother, this is real assets, mining like gold, silver, etc. Nice.
Yeah, it's something. It is. It is.
We've got a comment by Aftab: listening to you guys while driving, very interesting. Jimmy giving great insights into junior mining. Love that.
Thank you.
You're a very yourself and Sean are great representatives of junior mining. And I think like a lot of our audience, people it resonates with us too, right? So if we think it resonates with us, we feel like there's many that are cut from our cloth, so it should resonate with others. And yeah, probably more people probably need to take more out of your and Sean's books to just be a lot more what's the word? I guess open, right? Just more accessible as well. And yeah, I think that's something that credit to yourself, and me and Umar love having you on board. And actually, Umar, one of the things that you were saying earlier, right, is around like mine and Umar's mission is really to bridge the gap of mining, junior mining, and digital native retail investors, right? And one of the things that me and Umar have started to see, and we probably touched upon it a little bit on the last call, was the notion of RWAs, right? Tokenization. And that's something that me and Umar have started like in the last few weeks / months. I think we've just started to hear that chatter a lot more. And it seems like it's from both sides, right? Institutions are wanting to tokenize. And then, as Umar's kind of highlighted, that retail investors, it's like, especially those that are crypto, their first foray, their first stock that they bought might have been a crypto meme coin or whatever. But I think that's just something that is, we're seeing a lot more chatter, a lot more intention, a bit of a demand from both sides. And I'd love us to kind of discuss that topic a little bit more.
Baron, what would be a good thing is, this mirror we got, maybe go through some of the headlines. I think that we've got some good headlines that, showing that there's a big push towards real world assets. And like, it can't, so there's two sides to it, right? You can have the tokenization side, which is like obviously, assets. You can have assets in the ground, and then you can have, gold out off the ground that is, pegged with a pegged with a stable coin. They have all these different types of coins. You have stable coins, and you have other types of coins. So it's interesting. Me and Varun were going through some headlines. And Varun, you can share your screen. I think is a really.
Oh yeah, sorry, dude. Let's add on stage. So yeah, on the topic of like what assets can be tokenized as well, right? Me and Umar have been doing a lot of research into this space. We are not like tokenization Web3 experts, but we love the technology. We love the intent around it. And as with any we're curious by nature, so we're diving significantly in that topic. And fortunately, we've got some really good partners, associates, friends, which are crazy scientists, right, in the world of tokenization and Web3. So we've been having those conversations with them. And when we look at for example, what assets can be tokenized, and on the topic of actually like what is tokenization, it is taking a asset such as these, and as we kind of alluded to in the last call, it is essentially like taking that and digitizing it in the context of being able to take an asset like a currency, like a stock, like a physical commodity, and being able to have a like-for-like representative of that, right? So if we kind of break it down, like a token if we look at a gold bullion, I kind of probably gave this example before. You got a gold bullion, and you might take an ounce of it, and that ounce is worth 1,000 tokens. Now, by actually tokenizing it and put it on the blockchain on chain, then people are able to, rather than go out and buy ounces or buy gold specifically, they can now actually purchase that single token, right? That token could be of a value like of $50, for example, but they kind of buy into that asset, and it allows like the masses of people to essentially purchase crypto as opposed to stock or shares.
And I'd add to that, Baron. It's more like it's like who wants to store like tons of gold? Like imagine you want to buy £1 million worth of gold. Instead, you could just buy a token, right? So the token, and it'll be safe in the vault. And when you need to redeem it, you can just literally take the token, redeem your money, and your money's back in your account. So that's the shortcut. And like what we're trying to say is like, it's same as physical property. It's like you can either own the property, or you could have a token that's associated with the property, and it's just an easier way of exchange. And Anton said a good thing here. He said, guys, don't you think stable coins aren't helping Web3? But rather making it worse. It's like the digital dollar. Anton, you got a really good point there. And I think with your point, it does make a lot of sense. The whole thing about crypto, when I got into it, was kind of like, hey, it's outside the establishment. Not many, it's an unregulatory, uncharted, it's out of the realms of the government reach. That was originally why everyone got excited about Bitcoin, because they were like, hey, it's secure, it's a secure means of transferring money, wealth, whatever it was. But now we like you've got the digital dollar there. I do agree with you in that point, but I think the way the what's the right term for this? The way the world's headed is like you're going to see these central bank digital currencies and other assets tokenized anyway. So there's a big push there, and I just think naturally we're gonna come into this world of digital tokens, digital assets, and once the institutions are jumping on it, you're just going to see a big demand. So Varun, back to you.
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy. You about to say something?
Well, it would be interesting to raise money that way. For one project, we start a company and we say, well, this project, let's tokenize it and just raise the money this way. Maybe it will be easier for a younger crowd to invest in that company. I don't know, but I think it's something I will participate in, use a project and say, okay, I don't know what's the standard with the bank in Canada.
There's a lot of legal behind it. Yeah, there's a lot of like it's really based on the contracts.
Okay,
but it is quite. I'd say it's technical, Barry, wouldn't you? Like it's quite technical. We're not like
I think we were chatting about it today, right? It's actually like more the regulatory landscape, and it seems like and I think what it is now is like a lot of the larger institutions. You're seeing not within the context of only Canada, but you're seeing the likes of JP Morgan's, Bank of America. They now have started to kind of get actively involved into the whole real world asset tokenization now. But these are the big players now that when they move, the economy moves, and now they're working with the likes of the SEC to define what it could look like, right? And as with any technology, any form of disruption, really it's got to be like the bigger incumbents that are actually they got to move it right forward. And I think there's I think a few years ago there probably wasn't as many big players. They were probably trying to do stuff, but so unregulated. You know more than anyone around like the rug pulls, the amount of big projects that fell through. Meta was doing tons of projects, and nobody really saw it through.
Mhm.
It seems like now, I don't know. One of the things is, and I think we were trying to do research in this and trying to find out. Like, it feels like now that the appetite is back for tokenization, but also the governmental institutions are a hell of a lot more receptive now, more than ever. I'm not really sure why that's the case.
No, but do you know what I'd say is to add on that? It's because the crypto landscape has been built on a lot of white papers. So Jimmy, it's kind of like, you're an explorer and you haven't dug your first, you haven't even done your first drill. And you've got this idea, you've got a plot of land. You're like, hey guys, I'm gonna go and find all this gold, and then you tell a massive story. You're like, there's going to be millions of ounces of gold in the ground, and I'm gonna find all this, and then before you know it, all the money's gone back into people's pockets, and nothing's gone into the project. Right? That's what was happening in crypto for a long time.
Okay.
And I think that's the change we're seeing now. Is like you're getting more serious players in the industry, and they're saying, hey, look, you know what? It is great to have cryptos that have great utility. But having real world assets that back these cryptos, it just gives it a real value to intrinsic value.
And that's even we put out, I think we shared it last week. We were talking about, even I put it out to my Instagram following. Just people that I know, friends, family, associates, and there's now amongst retail investors, and even those that are probably not like actively call themselves retail investors, crypto, I think a lot of people like the hype of around meme coins and dog with a hat and all of that stuff. I think people are become a lot more privy to it. I think a lot of the Gen X, maybe older millennials, and certainly.
I'll read this out, and then Jimmy, I'll let you go. As in, like, you can go next. Guys, Anton again. He's our top fan today. He was the hater of the week.
I hope this is not AI generated.
No, it's not. It sounds like Anton. He's back. He goes, guys, I'd just like us to buy a coffee with any cryptocurrency from Bitcoin to Solana and Ethereum, but not exchange it for stable coins. That's what I want. But banks and governments are introducing stable coins, pretending they're helping us, but in reality, they're putting up barriers. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're not wrong, Anton. I agree with you. I fully agree with you there. And we need you on the next call.
How about we get him on now?
Come on now if you want, Anton. Just let me know.
Just let us know.
Jimmy, what did you think of like the points we made, around, like how I compared it to
I met a lot of people in my life. I met a guy in Halifax in Nova Scotia, I'll say 10 years ago. Oh, not even. Maybe 5 years ago, whatever, not important. He invented a machine. He called it a crypto debit machine. And it worked. I started working, and he was connected with a guy who I don't know a lot about crypto, but it was connected with a guy that transferred all the crypto he was paying with to a bank, and the merchant was receiving Canadian cash or US cash, whatever. I'm gonna try to put that window up, guys.
That's right.
So the thing was like a debit machine, like in a store, like Interac. You guys got Interac in England, I guess, in UK. So it was the same idea, but the machine was just taking the phone. It was a cell phone, and you scan your account, and the machine was taking the crypto and exchanging that in 7-8 seconds and sending cash money to the guy.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So they were the Bitcoin ATMs, right? And like used to have Bitcoin ATMs. I think they've stopped them in the UK because of money laundering.
Okay.
People would, put in cash and then, get Bitcoin into their wallet, but it would be hard to trace it. And also they charge stupid fees, like 8%. and 8-9% it was crazy. So a lot of people, I think it will come back. I do really think it will come back. I think the ATM machines is a great idea, but the thing is with crypto coins, right, having that as a mean of exchange compared to something that's backed by gold is that, when you have a crypto coin that's fluctuating, so like the price is fluctuating. Imagine I transferred Jimmy $1,000 and I'm like, hey Jimmy, here's that in crypto.
I'm gonna get hit by a giant truck, guys. Like, look at that.
Oh my god.
I tried to cancel. I'm gonna have to move. This guy is I don't know where it's going, but
Jimmy might jump out of the car and start boxing.
Stop it.
No, but Jimmy, what I was trying to say was, like imagine I sent you $1,000,
Yes.
and then it's in crypto, but then the price of that it goes down by 10%. You've lost $100, and then you have to wait to, that's why like using it as a means of exchange is quite hard. It's great when the price is going up, but when the price goes down, wow, that
Umar, it's just like that notion, right? The guy who, what was it? He bought Bitcoin. He bought pizza, right, in exchange for Bitcoin. So I think he basically, what did he do? I think at the
Bitcoin was the pizza.
So Laszlo Hankes basically paid for 2 Papa John pizzas, right, in 2010. At the time when he bought them, they were $41. Guess what they would have been worth today?
1.1. I've got you shared screen as well.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Yeah. Oh, 1.1. I was about to say. 1.1. So Jimmy, imagine that. Yeah. So you've gone now
1.1 billion
from $41. That is, it best be the best tasting pizza ever, which I doubt it was because it was Papa John's.
Yeah, for real.
Umar, that's basically kind of what you're alluding to, right?
Yeah. Like, your fluctuations. I guess, like you can say, like the US dollar, the pound, the euro fluctuates, right? We've seen this huge amount of inflation. Your groceries have gone up, and everything else, and it's not, it's just paper money, right? So having something stabilized by gold or silver. I think silver is going to have a huge run. I'm a big fan of silver. I think it's going to, the upside is uncapped. So I think it's a great time to get into silver. If you guys are listening out there,
why do you like silver?
Sorry?
Why do you like silver?
Because if you look into the silver and gold ratio, it's a ratio, and I think you can pull it up, Aaron. It's called the silver and gold ratio. There might be some historic charts, but it's like silver is, I believe, silver stocks, silver mining stocks, but silver in general, I feel like it can go above $100 plus. It's used for a lot of utilities, electrical. I think EV, not huge, but like there's a big utility for it as well. So, should we get you on there? Liam Marsh, go on, Liam. I think one of the benefits of blockchain is the transparency, something that might be welcome in the mining industry, perhaps, especially with juniors. I agree. I think it's just about who's going to move first. I think that's where we're at. It's like first mover's advantage. So the first person that really finds a way to link up. I think there is companies out there, right? You've got a few players, but a lot of them are from African-based. So you'll have a company in Dubai, then you'll have a mine in Africa. Yet to see a really successful Canadian producer do it, or exploration company. And it's an interesting space we're in. I think things are about to change in the near future. Baron, share some of those headlines. I think they're really interesting.
Yeah, just on that topic, I'll just quickly I read it earlier about certain mining companies that are tokenizing, but I don't think anyone's actually done a good coin offering yet, and the ones that haven't really performed that well. But
go through some of these headlines that we've done the research on. Can I pop you on stage?
Just bear with me 2 seconds, dude.
Just to show the magnitude of what's been going on. Jimmy, you good now? You didn't get run over by the big truck?
I have no idea. This guy is Now he's putting orange cone all around his truck. When I give him my space, I move around. He's just like, I don't know. I no explanation, guys.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So Varun, you are on
Oh yeah. So obviously, like, yeah. So on the topic of like Coinbase is like one of the biggest OG exchanges. So yeah, currently they are seeking in talks with the SEC for approval for tokenized equities.
So
and then,
what that means is basically you can buy a token instead of buying the equity, and it would just be mirrored. So
yeah,
just converge. So it'd be easy to buy. You can just go on Coinbase, say, "Hey, I want to buy Microsoft, but I want to buy the token version instead of the actual, share, because it's quicker." Or
yeah,
they-
and then vice versa. You've got obviously popular platform Robinhood, which is also, they've gone out and basically worked with the SEC to propose rules for tokenization of RWAs as well. So there is a report out there. I think probably we're not going to read a 41 report at the moment, but what they're basically saying is Robinhood is asking for token asset equivalents. So a key feature of the proposal is to push for token asset equivalent. So under Robinhood's plans, a token representing a US Treasury bond, for instance, would be treated as a bond itself, not a derivative or a synthetic product. That would allow institutions and brokers to handle tokenized RWAs within the existing regulatory system, potentially streamlining custody, trading, and settlement processes. And that's actually one of the probably big movers, that these conversations are actually happening, where they're actually talking about token versus actual asset equivalents, right? They're actually worth as much as each other. The value.
But you know why this is going to happen? Because why would someone like Donald Trump have his own coin? Do you remember he had his own coin?
Yeah.
So when you have like world leaders of let's put
I think
it out
his
there.
wife had a coin as well.
Trump is the man, right? So whether you like him or not, he's the world leader right now. You can see the big rollout they did it in the UK as well. He came to the UK and they give him the Guard of Honor. They went all out. Good on you, King Charles. You went all out. And if he's into the whole crypto thing, it shows it's not just a thing anymore. It's real life. And I think they've stopped the Federal Reserve, was it, or the US government stopped buying Bitcoin, but they still hold a lot of Bitcoin, and I think they're going to continue putting it part of the reserve. And I could just see, that's another way of them participating in the market and giving it more validation.
They're probably seizing a hell of a lot as well that we don't know.
Apparently that's what it was. They seized like 21 billion or some crazy amount. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a lot of Bitcoin.
That they seized?
Yeah. What was that?
Okay, they just seized it and from criminal organization. What?
Yeah. So
okay, no, I didn't know that.
Bitcoin.
Wow.
Jimmy, they'll seize drugs, they'll seize gold, they'll seize money.
Yeah, exactly.
Assets. So yeah, top on their radar is probably like any forms of crypto.
That's crazy. I don't know how they can seize Bitcoin. Like they need the code on the computer and stuff, and I don't know. I don't know enough to have an opinion on that, but I find it crazy that they can seize Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So apparently in total they have 188,898 BTC.
How much is that in value of like dollars?
I think I'm looking at it now. I think that's worth it must be worth close. Here you go. Total value 22.8. So I wasn't far off. $22.8 billion worth of seized Bitcoin. But I think no, that's not total. That's actually how much they have in total.
Okay.
1% of the Bitcoin market almost.
Wow.
The US government Bitcoin holdings.
So yeah, on that topic, then as you were saying, it's probably like it started to become in their best interest. Previously,
I'll put the link in the chat. I'll put it in the private so you can actually show the guys how much they have. So yeah, there is a if they've got
interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting, right, Jimmy? It's like if the government has close to 1% of the 21 million Bitcoins in circulation, they don't have actually 0.943. Yeah, close percentage of 21. Yeah, they have quite a quite a large holding. Cheap. Yeah, okay, that's a spam one. That's interesting, Baron. Baron, share your screen. Let's go through some more stuff.
Yeah, so what we're starting to see is just big players in and around the US are now they're almost defining the regulations, the infrastructure, which has been there, frameworks, just how the public and institutions can kind of interact with it. So like on this topic of like RRE, right, which is essentially the real world asset exchange. So what Coinbase and others are referring to is, sorry, not Coinbase, Robinhood. It would be built on a dual chain architecture using Solana and Base. And according to an overview proposal by Franklin Elevator, the system is designed to combine high frequency off-chain trade matching with on-chain settlement. The projects and the platform will achieve sub 10 microsecond matching latency and throughput of 30K transactions per second. This could compress the US capital's market standard settlement time from T2 to T0, cutting trade costs by an estimated 30% annually.
That's crazy. So we'll just speed up all these international transfers. Everything would just be almost instantaneous. We got Sean in the house. Sean.
Oh, let's see. Where is Sean?
Hey, Sean.
Sean,
Guys, can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your day been, Sean? Oh,
Sorry, that's better. I can hear you now.
Amazing. How you been, Sean? What's the latest? How's the week been?
Why can't I hear anybody? But I had one of my other screens hooked up and the sound wasn't on it. So sorry about that. Jimmy, you're looking good, man. You look like you're in like some Star Trek shuttle vessel or something.
do.
You're making too much money if you got a car like that.
It's just my pickup truck. It's very dirty too.
Someone asked earlier, is it a Range Rover?
Range Rover. He's probably got a Lamborghini. These junior mining guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
We
had this conversation 20 minutes ago about mining people's pocket or mining the actual mine, right? Yeah. But no, it's just it's an old F-150.
Good and reliable.
Yeah, good. I like it. No, nothing against it.
So what did I miss, Jimmy? What happened with Slam this week? What have you been doing?
Well, we closed the financing this week, but the first tranche of the financing for $700,000. Well, $690 something. So that's press release. I'm allowed to talk about it at 8 cents, Sean. Stock's trading at 7 cents now, so it's a pretty good buy-in, I guess. We've been drilling all week. It's going well. I can't talk too much about it, as you know. But next week, Friday, I can probably talk a little more about it. But now life is good. It's just I'm just getting out the forest now. Probably gonna head to mountain tomorrow. So it's hunting season in New Brunswick, and it's a moose hunting. It's a big deal here, guys. And when it's moose hunting, you can't work in the forest. You get shot. No, it's just like, because you disturb the setup, right? To how they call the moose and stuff with their. So we would have to shut down the drill and go to the tavern and have a couple of beer for a week.
Sounds like a good idea, right?
Well, that's what's good.
I don't know who scared you so bad about disclosure, but there's nothing wrong with you giving us some updates of what's happening in the field. Like, are the drillers happy? Has the weather been good? Like, we want to feel part of the adventure. We don't need secret agent, man. We're trying to feel part of this.
It's super nice. It's like 25, 26 degrees Celsius all week. No rain. Actually, a little more rain could be good because the water's going down for the drill. I got that driller in front of me there in his pickup truck with a flat tire. He's trying to fix his flat tire because we got 70 kilometers of gravel to do, and the grader went this week, and the rock already plenty. So we got a lot of flat tires, including that driller there. GF is fixing his wheel. It's going well. I mean, there's always problem on the drill. This morning the wire that kind of bring the core back from the ground. It's pretty deep. That smashed, and the spoiler was broken. So back in the truck, and 140 kilometers, going to go pick up pieces at the factory and come back, and it's it's drilling. It's just drilling. It's just like it's like a TV show a little bit. There's always a little something. But a lot of animals we saw this week. We saw black bears and moose and coyotes,
Jimmy,
fox.
I don't believe you, because anytime me and Uma have been in BC, we've been on the lookout for animals, right? Literally, like, we've been waiting to see a black bear, a moose, and David Attenborough, that shit. Oh my God. But the only time we thought we saw something, it was after we had to go check out a few products in the Medcan side. And then we had to go to an Airbnb. It was extremely dark. And as we parked up in the car park, there was a big line of trees. And I think one of us, I forgot who it was, must have mentioned, could there be a bear there? And then the mind plays tricks on you. And then we got extremely paranoid. And that was the amount of animals that we saw. So
That's it.
Something, I don't know what it was.
You probably just heard a militant vegan or something.
it sounded the same,
Some
right?
hippie girl there, peeing in the woods.
That's what it was.
You guys have a new guide in Canada if you want to see in the summer in July. I'm in Yukon. If you want to see grizzlies and big animals, but you next time you come in this part of the world, give me a call. I'll show you real creatures.
I'd love to know, Jimmy and Sean, have you had any animal encounters which were a little bit off, how we like to say, squeaky bum time a little bit?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did, but it wasn't me. We could get him on the show here sometime if you want. It's a buddy of mine named Mark Graves. Jimmy, you know Mark Graves, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, he's a geologist for Mongoose.
Yeah.
Mongoose.
No, he's been with a few companies, but he was with Zephyr Minerals. And when him and I worked at Zephyr Minerals together, and on one of the trips that he was on, he was walking around the site in Colorado. He stepped in a hole, and he got tagged by 2 rattlesnakes at the same time.
Damn.
What's funny is he didn't think that they actually stuck him, right? Because he said it just felt like 2 fists. It felt like 2, little kids punched me in the leg. And so nobody thought anything of it. I was not there. I'm going by what they told me. But nobody thought anything of it because he wasn't screaming, yelling, or anything else. So one of the young geologists said, I'm going to stick with you if you don't mind, just in case. They couldn't even see any puncture marks. And anyway, they were walking across the river, and Mark dropped. He woke up 3 weeks later in the hospital.
Wow.
He was dead. I saw a picture of his body beside the river. He looked like a dead body. It's and the geologist was an old military guy, and he carried him on his shoulder for kilometers to get out of there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. And I think Mark have to correct me, but I'm pretty sure that they had 50 does at the hospital on anti-poison from that kind of bite. They used them all on him.
I heard that.
He got like $1 million of anti-venom.
They said it was the most anti-venom they ever used on a person that the person lived.
Oh, he was dead. It was bad. He was dead.
Anybody else they gave that many doses to, they didn't survive. Mark was the only one. He was meant to be here, Jimmy. He was meant to work for SLAM. You got to go get him.
I wish he can come with us.
Yeah.
Hey, Hayden.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, you?
The
Doctor
doctor
had a bit of a
arrived.
fun one this week.
What did I
honestly.
miss? What have you been talking about?
A little bit
Jimmy.
about, what was it, real world assets, a little bit about, the US government Bitcoin holdings, and, just how it relates back to the mining industry, and, how there's it's probably going to happen in the future. But to be honest, we've been having a bit of fun, to be honest. I've myself been proper ill this week, so I don't know if there's a bug going around somewhere in the UK and someone's passed on to me. It might be the kids, it might be someone else, I don't know, but I've just been down bad with it. I was like, but we have to make the life happen. We promised the guys Friday. I was like, let's just make it happen,
Umar, just keep applying the ointment. You'll be okay.
The ointment. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. How about you, Hayden? How have you been? How's your week been?
Really crazy. You've got some big things coming up, especially in Canada at the moment. There's some big entities hopefully licensing my training soon over there, and that's going to empower loads of geoscientists and people in the mining sector, to be honest with you, to communicate powerfully. So I'm really excited about that. But apart from that, some issues with the kids' school. So I'm putting out fires there, being a dad and trying to being an entrepreneur. It's hard work.
It's hard work,
It's
Hayden.
freaking hard work.
It
Yeah.
is, right?
Agreed.
Especially, like we and Aaron talk about this all the time. We're like, trying to juggle being an entrepreneur and having a family and being a bit younger. It's just like, you can't put too much time one place or the other. Otherwise,
it's not for the faint-hearted. Definitely not.
No, I mean, for me, I get really irritated by these annoyingly optimistic LinkedIn posts by these single childless entrepreneurs who are in their 20s, and they're sitting on a Tesla by the beach at sunset, and they give routines, up at 5 a.m, doing 20 squats, doing this, doing that, and then like completely like focused work between 9 and 10. And I'm like, for me, I'm fighting to get my kids' shoes on to go to school, or and then at 9 o'clock, my wife is like saying, "Hey, we've got to sort out some stuff with the school, and why is the cat looking sad?" And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is my focus time.
Yeah. Hey, this is where you can let it all out, have a bit of fun, And you were very, very insightful last week. Me and Baron loved the chat. You're super intelligent. Glad we connected. I don't know how we connected. It might be through Baron, or I think it was through Baron, right? And
I think it's all of us. I think it was on the I think what it was Mining Meets Digital. Like, I think Hayden was coming in with those fire comments and insights, and they were like, "Oh, this guy, we got to chat to him." But Hayden, you were on another podcast recently, right? Like, what did you discuss there? I think you shared it in the group.
Yeah, that was so. I was invited to the AMEA, so the American Exploration and Mining Association Summer Summit, which is in Spokane in Washington State in June. So I was invited to give a keynote there. And just before the keynote, I also gave a workshop about the neuroscience of communication, and especially on social media. And I did that together with Jessica Scanhan, who is Mind Life Matters. And so we did this workshop together. And just after that, Lindsay Schultz, I think, Sean, you know her, she came in, and she has her own podcast. And it's normally like via Zoom, right? They just record that. But since we were there together in the same building, we had a live podcast together. And we talked about, well, when Lindsay and I get together, we kind of solve all the world's problems. And it's just, we started off with this so-called problem in the mining sector, which is there's not enough people coming into the sector, not enough talent. There's what is called a gray tsunami happening. The retirees are going. There's not enough young talent coming into the sector. And so they're facing a crisis, a talent crisis. But I was told by a senior mining geologist at a global consultancy firm that that's bullshit. There is no talent crisis. What there is a selection crisis. That is, they're only targeting engineers and geologists from these big mining schools. So in the UK, that's Camborne School of Mines, for example, Cardiff, Manchester, Red Brick universities. In the US, that's Colorado School of Mine, Arizona State University, and Montana Tech. And they're always going for those mining schools. And because of that, they have a limited talent pool. They're ignoring all these very creative students who didn't do so well at traditional school, who therefore don't get into these elite mining schools, but who have very, very, very creative brains and aren't very good at standardized tests. So they're ignoring all that talent, and therefore he's saying, you know what, we need to cast our net a lot broader. So it's just one example of the mining industry shooting itself in the foot. They do that with communication and social media and social license to operate a lot. They also do it with talent. They're very good at hurting themselves. And so we started off by talking about that, and then we went on and talked about a whole bunch of other things. So I check out the podcast.
It's really interesting, Hayden.
That is an interesting topic, because like what it kind of puts me into is like the notion of like the tech sector, right? So I did economics. I started off as a really terrible accountant. As soon as I got out of university, I'm still scared that one day that the companies who get audited, they're going to come knock on my door, and then maybe I'm going to migrate and live with Jimmy and Sean and hide out in Canada. But like one of the things that what I appreciate with the tech sector was they were very, very open, and they liked a balance of people that come from engineering backgrounds in terms of coding, computer science degrees, but they also like to bring people in that just come from wildly different industries, and they wanted to get into the tech sector, right? And then you have this hybrid type talent pool where they feed off each other, right? And then, you know, it's just up to the individuals to accrue their 10,000 hours to over time become an expert, right? So, but why do you think that is like a selection problem? Like, what is it culturally or from a CEO or leadership perspective that's causing that?
Okay, so there's a whole bunch of reasons. It is definitely cultural. Most people in the mining sector have gone through formal education, university education, mining or engineering, for example. They're specialized. There's a set way of thinking, and it's done that way. And so breaking that inheritance that you get from the ivory towers, it takes time. And they should be learning from the tech sector, because the Apples and the Microsofts, the people who were founded by people who dropped out of school, who actually thought so differently, they didn't fit the traditional mold, the true innovators. Mining sector hasn't learned how to embrace those people yet. So they're trying to diversify, especially gender diversity. And I think we could be more gender diverse here. That would be really good too, by the way. But the problem with the mining sector is that I've spoken to senior women in the mining sector, and they say, you know what, Hayden? There's gender diversity, and then there's cognitive diversity, which is what we truly need. Really out of the box thinking. It's possible for women to progress within these companies, but in order for them to get to the C-suite, they need to actually act like men, which I think is stupid, right? They're actually homogenizing the cognitive diversity of homogenizing it. They're making it all the same. Yeah. So you can have a very diverse C-suite, but where everyone thinks the same, which is really unhealthy. The Apples and the Microsofts and even the intelligence agencies, they actually go out of their way to target diverse thinkers, even the neurodiverse. So they target dyslexic thinkers who cannot think inside the box, they think outside the box. The mining industry is light years behind this, and it could really help accelerate innovation, communication, and innovation. But that's another thing that I'm trying to push on, because as a ROI and the bottom line, it'll help them so much to get where they want to be. Yeah.
Here's something you guys might find interesting in talking about the shortage of geologists and whatever else. Just before the Ukrainian war, now I don't think it's happening anymore, but one of the best kept secrets I heard out there, and Lindsay and I were talking about this, Hayden, was that at one point, did you guys know that Putin hired 250,000 global geologists?
No.
He was recruiting them like crazy from all over the planet, because he knew that gold is king. So he said, let's go find it. And for a while there, just before COVID, nobody was hiring geologists more than Russia. They were scooping them from everywhere.
He's pretty
cool, eh?
Actually really interesting.
Now, here's something else, and this is probably a rumor, but it wouldn't surprise me. Jimmy could probably explain this a little more fun than I can, right? But, you know, Jimmy, why don't you explain trenching for a second?
Trenching,
because I know you love trenching.
How can I explain that, Sean? I don't know how to explain that, Sean. It's just
okay, guys, you lying little monkey. You get down to the bedrock, you dig a freaking trench through the bedrock, right? So usually starts out with some knucklehead running around the forest, either sees an outcrop or he finds a rock that looks fancy, click the GPS, throw it in a bag, get the thing tested, right? One of the next things is trenching. So supposedly, and I heard this at 3 or 4 different conferences, so there's got to be some truth to it apparently, but way out in the backwoods of Russia, because you got to get a backhoe out there to do the trenching. You got to get equipment. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do. So if you want to believe this or not, it's kind of a crazy story. But I guess when they got to the point of doing the trenching, Putin's people would say, okay, get everybody out of the way. And they were dropping bunker busting bombs.
Wow.
Where the geologists were just had discovered something. Boom. There's your trench. Go back to work.
No way. Shortcut. He's got so many bombs there. Shortcuts it.
Isn't that that's
I like that. That's fun.
Now suddenly there's a crater, and okay, go check it.
I'll put that my next permit application will have that. I like that.
Yeah.
I can just see you running around with sticks of dynamite, chucking them.
Boom.
This is diverse thinking right there.
That's
That's
it.
it.
I got it.
You're right, Hayden. You're right.
You know, that's true, right? It's like, you know, he's just using his resources. He's like, you know what, instead of digging this up, you know, let me throw one of these bunker busters on there, and 300 feet is done. We're ready.
It needs to be a rainy day, right? Just to wait rainy day, and so you don't catch a forest fire everywhere. But yeah, it's a good idea. Boom.
I love that you thought about the rainy day. Top marks, Jimmy. That's really cool.
He really thinks about, you know, yeah. Good CEO here.
No, that was him actually thinking about how he could get away with it. Is the funny part.
Yeah, he was already thinking. It's got to be rainy. Ooh, no forest fires. I'll get through it.
I bring a spotter with me. There's a spotter in the truck on my back.
He's got his,
I guess.
Oh, Hayden's putting in what trenching is. I love it.
Yeah, that was fast. That was quick.
Oh, he's quick. He's a doctor,
Anton
you
said,
know?
by the way, I'm a security engineer at the Russian Ministry of Defense General Staff, but I worked there until 2014, and
Oh wow!
there was no war while I was there. Amazing, Anton. That's interesting. We'll get you on the next show, Anton.
Love it.
I'm still skeptical. Yeah, I'm still skeptical if that is Anton. Like, I don't know if it's his AI bot, because I've seen some comments pop up. So Anton, I don't know, give us a sign.
Is it actually you, Anton?
Is it actually you? Like, I really want to know if it's you, and then we'll get you on, buddy, and you can jump into the chat, because I know Anton's come from a Web3 background. I believe he's CTO of a tech startup, which me and him were discussing. So I think his views would be great if he is real, or if he's not. If he is real, that's crazy, Sean, right? I'm questioning if someone's real.
What a crazy world we live in. I told you I was at that little tech conference in Florida a few months ago, and there was a company there that was literally selling Zoom, where they make an avatar of you, but it's actually you answering the questions, and you're not there. So you could sign it. You'll literally answer the questions, for crying out loud.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know.
that's
That's dodgy, man. I mean, that's just taking out. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Sean? How did you feel when you saw that? Did you ask them, what the heck?
Well, it actually worked well for my business, because our business, what we do, it was the best thing I could have ever heard. Because in our business, our core business is essentially just updating contact lists, one contact at a time. So like we're sort of the opposite of AI. And I was a little worried, to be straight with you, when AI first started to go. I thought, well, shoot, that could put our company out of work. But people want that human connection. That's why Jimmy's doing so well on here. They really do. They want to feel part of the story.
And I said earlier, like when we shared that picture, Sean, you said that picture of Jimmy in the mud.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I had like 5-6 people reach out to me and said, oh, look, we're loving what he was hearing. But when we shared that picture, that made people really excited. And it was like, whoa, is it like he's genuinely, he's actually in the trenches, as you say. So they loved it.
Oh, yeah, I'm in the trenches every day, that's for sure.
Jimmy is definitely not a bot.
I'm a minion. Sean told me I'm a minion, not a bot.
Well, because you laugh like Kevin in the Minions, like you really do.
Hey, by the way, we am I allowed to say that, Sean? The New Orleans Investment Conference, first week of November. So Slam will be a silver sponsor there. So we'll have a booth, and there's a big show there. So if you guys want to go to New Orleans, beautiful place, Louisiana, and it's there's a big conference about investment in junior mining. Not a lot of junior, but some junior mining company and major mining company, and we'll be proudly a sponsor there. So if you have nothing to do, first week of November, you come see us in New Orleans.
It's probably the best retail show on earth, because the people that go to it, they pay about $1,000 just to get in.
Wow.
Did you know that, Jimmy?
The what? I'm sorry?
The attendees there, they pay about $1,000 just to get in.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's
when I was there a few years ago with Fred George, and I got lucky enough, guys. It's a cool story to drop. But he flew me down in a Challenger jet. And I thought, this is like the coolest thing in the world. So when I jumped out of the plane in New Orleans, there was a whole lineup of business jets. And I literally said, hey, is there a Saints game in town? Like, what's going on? Like, and they said, no, they said they're all here for some big conference at the Hilton.
Wow. That's amazing. No, I did. It's just very, very good information, John, because if you pay $1,000 to go meet people, it's because you're pretty serious into finding your investment, right? It's just like, it's pretty good.
And they're the last people you would think. I had a guy a few years ago show up at the booth the first day, and for whatever, everybody was giving out hats. And so this guy put on like 10 of them. He looked like the Mad Hatter wearing all these hats, like just a goofy dude wearing a Hawaiian shirt, wearing 10 different junior companies' hats. And he's walking around trying to hold these hats on. And on the first day, just shooting the guard with him, I said, hey, what do you do for a living? He said, I'm a gardener. And then the next day he said, yeah, I'm a little bit bigger than a gardener. And on the third day, he said, I'm a gardener in 19 states with 400 trucks.
Oh, my God. That's it, eh?
Those are the characters that go to that show.
He probably invested in every single company to hold those hats.
Yeah, on the hat.
Yeah. 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000.
And I remember about probably 10 years ago, the booth that was right beside me, two people came in. They were wearing cutoff jeans. They were wearing flip-flops, old ripped T-shirt, and they were both carrying 7-Eleven big gulps, for crying out loud. And the woman next to me in the booth next to me, she said, oh my God, like, what some of the people here are just a complete waste of time. And I said, that guy could be a freaking billionaire for all you know.
Yeah, that's it.
Some guy that, each of them paid $1,000 to get in, or 700, 600 US, whatever it is, right? Like it's big money. Like, so you just never know who's going through it. And one of the ladies there that I met, 16 years ago, and is my friend Carol, Jimmy. At one point, we found out, I knew her for, I kid you not, probably 10 years before I realized this. She's the last surviving heir of Francis S. Peabody Cole.
Of what?
Francis S. Peabody Cole. Like coal. She's a coal baron. And so here was this little old lady walking around the New Orleans show with a flowery suitcase, and everybody thought she was a waste of time. And I thought, I said, little do you know, at one point her dad owned 25% of the Bahamas.
Oh, my. That's unbelievable, eh?
So those are the characters you're going to see there. Best show on earth.
What's the name of the show, Sean?
The New Orleans Investment Conference. This is my 16th.
No way.
Yeah.
So what sets Sean? I don't know. I can't believe I've never heard of this thing. But what sets this apart from things like Beaver Creek, for example, and other investor conferences?
This is a really very unique show, and it's not for everybody. Like if you asked 10 IR people or 10 CEOs what they thought of the New Orleans conference, you'll probably have 8 of them say, it was all right, it was this, it was that, but it's just they're not relationship builders. Do you follow what I'm getting at? Like this is, and the other thing is you see the same people for the full 4 days. So it's a little bit like being on a cruise ship. I know it sounds silly, but they've got one huge hall that they do all of the speakers and all the fancy stuff. And across the hall, there's where all the exhibitors are. There's a whole bunch of booths. All right. So the booths essentially pay for the speakers. All right. But what happens is that at the breaks, 700 people wander into the booths because that's where the food is. So they put all the food and beverage in with the booths. So everybody that comes up to the booth is usually holding a drink or a thing of beignets or something. But they're all, look, you're going to think you're on a high end cruise ship. They're all older people that go. The average age is probably 70. But they're all super high net worth people. And this year should be the best one on earth because gold and silver is flying. So you have every gold and silver bug on the planet's going to be rushing to this thing. And you never know who's going to be there. Quite a few years ago, I eat breakfast really early, right? So I went down for breakfast at like 5:45. And I shit you not, Newt Gingrich was sitting there alone.
Like, who's Newt Gingrich?
He was the Speaker of the House in that. He was on the Reagan administration, right?
Okay.
So I walked by him and I said, hey, anybody having breakfast with you? He said, no. He said, go get your stuff. And I got almost an hour and a half alone with Newt Gingrich.
Wow, this is cool.
Yeah, on another trip that I was there, I was texting my wife saying, Sarah Palin's behind me in line for coffee.
Sarah, I don't know who's Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin she ran for president for vice president a few years ago. She was the one that said, I can see Russia from my house.
I bet she was in Alaska.
He was the governor of Alaska.
Okay. It's funny.
Okay, interesting.
Oh,
I mean,
for you guys, you know who was there? Margaret Thatcher.
No
Really?
way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Margaret Thatcher was a speaker there.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's a more intimate version of
100%.
so many SME or PDAC.
100%.
This is like way more intimate, and it's got a higher.
Oh, here's something you might find really funny. So whenever I go there, you know, everybody's got their presentations and all their other stuff, right? You're going to laugh with what I'm going to tell you next, right? I put my presentation in a flowery photo album
Oh my God.
because senior citizens can't resist opening a flowery photo album.
There you go.
I love it. I absolutely love it. But I'll tell you something. Nobody is that wealthy. Like, let's say the average net worth in that building is probably $5 million. I'll tell you something. As a 57-year-old guy, by the time you turn to my age, if you have any money left after divorces and tuition and crap and life falling apart and all the other crap, you're damn lucky. So, like, if you get an 80-year-old person that still has $60 million in the bank, they've got a bullshit detector better than any cop on earth.
Yeah.
Well, they'll see like nothing. There's no conning them, bullshitting them, nothing. It's but this is the ultimate relationship builder show, and they don't sell. They'll buy. They'll follow you down the barrel of a gun. The stock falls off. They're not dumping. They're adding.
That's people
That's
need.
smart.
Sean, you reckon-
Well, I'm super excited, Sean. I'm super excited to go now.
Yeah, well,
But you know, these type of events, you guys are like been to, Sean especially, right? You've been to hundreds of these type of events, right? In the context of mining, myself, Umar, we've been to probably like loads of, I would say, like business and tech events.
Sure.
Obviously, the vibes are very different.
yeah.
You know, I guess if you look at the tech events, they're more a hybrid between like concert-ish versus innovation. Like, let's just show loads of cool shit.
Yeah.
And then they've got the stands where you can go and talk to individuals and get to know a network. But then, you know, and mining events, you know, and Umar's kind of alluded to earlier when he went to these mining events and he was the youngest there. And, you know, there's old gentlemen with drill results just sitting there on the table, nothing really else. Like, and, you know, would the type of these events, like, would they benefit from a little bit of that, I guess, tech / modern pizzazz, or would that even work in those type of things?
It's funny. I'll tell you something. There are older people are getting more and more and more tech savvy than any other time in history, because it's a lot of the tech now isn't confusing like it was even 5 years ago. Like, people are they're able to use webcams to talk to their grandkids. Like, they're able to do stuff that they weren't able to do before. And I'll tell you where tech would come into play with this particular group in New Orleans is that if you can say, hey, we can use AI to potentially figure out where to drill faster, potentially do this faster, potentially do that faster, that's going to resonate with this crowd.
Okay.
It's interesting because even last week, me and Umar were speaking to two gentlemen. We can't really name the company yet.
Jimmy Gravel.
It isn't Jimmy, but essentially they are individuals from a finance, investment background, and what they've started to do, and that's all they've ever been, right? They've been in that world. They are not technologists at all, but then, they've essentially, and this was the topic that we were kind of discussing earlier. They have a fund. It's made up of real estate, crypto, almost like an ETF in spirit. And, they've got their own, I guess, they've tokenized it, right? And, and they've gone through the whole, because they're the financial cats, they know the who's who when it comes from a compliance regulatory perspective. That's what they know, like the back of their hand. And I think, me and Umar, we found it really, really interesting that we started to see, I guess, grown-ups, the guys that are extremely, extremely seasoned, that have, 40 years in an industry, who are not come from a technology background, have now started, they've almost like waited. They're not the first movers. They've seen a lot of people do stuff. A lot of people fail. similar to what you just highlighted. Their bullshit detector, they've seen a little bullshit, and now they're at this stage where, they are started to make moves on some of this technology, whether it's AI, whether it's blockchain, and now they started to adapt it to their zone of genius that they've accrued 50 years on. So I am with you on that. It's, the commercially savvy, the guys that have been in an industry for so long, now they've started to, take the time to leverage technology, I guess, and become more digital.
But then you see there's two different kinds of experienced people. There's the ones who are kind of stuck in their ways and can't see the innovation, and then Sean knows what I'm talking about. And then the other ones and wanting to learn more and open to it.
I knew Hayden was a bot.
Hayden, just when you were about to go into some great insights,
we've just lost you, brother.
We've just lost you.
Well,
there's probably 14 Haydens out there.
Hayden, your internet is not loving you right now. You might need to plug up that good old dial-up again. The good old times.
I'll drop you down, Hayden, and then
bring
you back up. Let's try that. Actually, I think it's just your screen's frozen. You can, if you can still hear me, you can leave and come back. It might work.
I see we still have Jimmy in his Lamborghini.
We do, Sean. We do. So, Sean, you're at this.
I'm out of 3, and I'm completely. I'm dead, guy. I got like 3% left, so I think.
No, it's lovely having you, Jimmy. Honestly, it's been a pleasure again. I think next
week. It was great. I'm glad I made it in time. It's super nice to have you guys, and again, thanks a lot for the opportunity. It's super fun. It's brand new experience for me, and I appreciate it. It's super. So I'll let you finish the show, and hopefully we'll see you Friday.
Yeah, definitely, Jimmy.
We need a good update next week. Some pictures of you trenching.
With a big update.
We want a TV show style recording of what's a day in a week in the life of Jimmy. Right?
Telling you, Jimmy, they'll all run to Slam. That's what everybody's looking for.
I have so many video and some picture from this week. It's unreal. It's all in my phone right now. I would love to share that, but next week.
All right.
Peace out, Jimmy.
See you guys. I'm out of battery, Hayden. I got to go, but I'll see you Friday. Thank you, guys.
The one and only Jimmy Gravel.
The one and only.
Oh, my guys.
See you later, Minion.
You just missed that one.
Doesn't he remind you of one of the Minions?
Hayden, you're good now. You're on stage. You're all good.
Hayden, okay now. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right. Some glitch there, but I was just asking because we were talking about these more senior figures. Sean was talking about, and like how you can't bullshit them. I was just putting a nuance there to say, obviously there are two kinds, right? There was the ones who are more stuck in their ways and really just will never change, and then there's the ones who have always been creative thinkers, always been like really active and open to these kinds of things. I assume that those are the kinds of more senior figures that Sean's talking to going to the New Orleans and conference, right? But I wanted to ask you guys a question, like Umar and Baron, about your academic journey, because I just want to go back to the beginning part about all these tech entrepreneurs and the biggest ones, the biggest innovators, the ones who dropped out of like college, for example. Because they're just too creative. And for me, you guys strike me as very creative people wanting to innovate the whole time. How was your experience at school? Did you not fit academic mold? Did you kind of reject that and want to do your own thing? How was it?
Mine was completely like rejecting it. I'll be honest with you. I resonated with that a lot. Even when I went to uni, I was there for like 3-4 years, but I did not resonate with even like learning economics. I started in accounting similar to Varun, and then I went to economics, and honestly it just didn't resonate because it was really boring and stale. I thought, they would just hand you textbooks and tell you, hey, read this makes you a great economist. But then I'm like, I'm on TradingView, and I'm like back at it now, and I'm thinking, as an economist, the main thing you need to be able to do is predict the future, right? And if you go to Ride the Pig, my TradingView account that has 10,000 followers, I think I even predicted, me and some friends predicted even the crash of during COVID. Like, it's like 80-90%. I'd say it's about 80% correct of, like, the predictions we've made over the long term. And I feel like a degree wouldn't have give me. I didn't learn this from the degree, honestly. I learned a little bit, how quantitative easing works, or how the print money, inflation, etc., etc. And we could have gone in deeper into Maslow's hierarchy of needs and all of this, that, the other, right? But I just never resonated. I was just sitting there, like, in class. I think my attendance was super low. Exactly what you said. I didn't go to a top end university either. So I already knew that, look, I'm going to walk out of here with not the greatest grades, and I'm probably not going to get the greatest job. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm competing against LSE, Oxford, Cambridge, all of the big, the big guys or the big students in those universities who did excel in education and did, who end up at those investment banks and, have that great pathway. Whereas if you go to a university like me, Bournemouth University, and it's kind of like, okay, you might get a job, you might get into JP Morgan, but you might not be at the same floor. You're going to be at the back. You're going to be in the back house. So yeah, it was an interesting journey. And honestly, I think the best thing about university for me was networking, like meeting friends, people I've carried through, people who I've met and still retain a relationship. And I think that really, I saw a lot of people drop out and have their own startups. One of the ones that influenced me a lot was actually my friend Pascal and Pete. I lived with them for a long time as well. They started a startup called Movem, and it was a prop tech startup. And Pete ended up exiting that for like 3 million, and he literally just dropped out. Went straight into raising money for the startup. And I lived with them for like I think 9 months or 12 months we were together. So, and we really had that feeling of, like a social network. It was like that moment. And that's actually, I think it was a big inspiration to me. That was like, hey, I can, I don't need this traditional education. I can actually do this. And, being around a bunch of motivated people and individuals who really are just entrepreneurs at the end of the day. And they just, found a gap. And, it's been an interesting journey, to be honest. I think, education, like, for some people, if you're becoming a doctor, I get it. Like, yeah, you need that education. You don't want your doctor to, not have an education and not understand, whatever it's chemistry, biology, you're not going to trust them as much. And maybe that's what it's quite interesting when you came up, when you talked about the stuff around the geologists. And I'm like, I can see where there's an issue there, because they're thinking, hey, we've got to choose from these, the best schools. They're the best people, they've got the best grades, X, Y, and Z. But, having that creativity and trying to be, disruptive. And like you said, like the big tech CEOs, most of them, majority are probably dropouts. They just have creative thinking, and they like to disrupt. And, I'd love to think we're part of the, cut from the same cloth.
Now, I don't know if this is a UK saying or not, but in Canada, and that there's a lot of us say that the A students almost always end up working for the C students.
Yeah, no, that's actually,
yeah,
I could imagine that. Like, with myself, Hayden, I feel like with schools, especially in the UK, the curriculum, they actually suppress creativity. They suppress problem solving. They suppress courage, right? And if I look back at mine, I had to take something called the 11+ in the UK, and it was, you had to do maths, verbal and non-verbal, right? Those were the 3 tests. And if you pass that test, you were able to get into a grammar school. A grammar school, I would say, is like the equivalent of a private school without, but still being government funded, right? And but the test was, it was doing past papers, repetition. Then during school, you do the typical courses that you do. You don't get actually a lot of I always felt like there was a lack of genuinely looking at a student, analyzing their potential. What are they passionate about? and then matching subjects to that, right? It was almost like, regardless if you went to a grammar school or not, it's like, figure it out yourself. Do you like doing this? Yeah, cool, go for it. And then that was kind of the journey that I ended up taking. I ended up, picking stuff that I thought I'd like, or things that I thought I had to do, right? Especially when you come from an Indian family, right? Like, that's why I ended up doing economics. Dude, I should not have done economics. I know that for a fact, right? The only reason I passed and got a 2-1 degree, right, was purely because I literally memorized it. I memorized it as if I was an actor playing a scientist who's explaining like the Oppenheimer effect. Like, I memorized it to that extent, but I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I think that is a big part of what the curriculum's like even to the extent of when I had to choose certain subjects. Like, it's funny how the world works. Like, I loved design and technology, but when it came to choosing that subject, not enough students picked it, so they didn't do it. So I ended up doing food tech. The reason I did food technology, because me and my friends thought all the girls would do it and it would be a good way to pick up chicks. And then when we started on the first day, basically so many of the guys joined it that they realized they just did a single sex classes. So it was me and 29 of my mates, and God, I felt sorry for that teacher. But that was the nature of like UK schools. And it was really like similar to like how Umar said, university was university. I think it was a little bit of a holiday, 3-year vacation. Only amazing thing about that, my wife's probably watching, is I met her, right?
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. So for me, like going through that process, I'm forever grateful about that. But then it was after, I feel like that's when school started, the school of life, right? You're in this bubble of university, which once again, I don't think it actually helps people in the real world, right? You have this bubble, the bubble pops, and now you're in the real world. And you're just, choosing loads of different jobs. And I got quite lucky that, or unlucky, was that like during a period, my dad got sick, and that's where I was an accountant, and he got sick, and with me, like, I'm all or nothing when it comes to my family. So as soon as he got sick, he got brain cancer. I quit my job and became his carer. I just, it's the way I'm kind of wired in that respect. And after he passed away, it's one of those situations where I was like, okay, like, what do I want to do with my life? Do I want to be a mediocre, depressed accountant, or should I do something that I'm actually interested in? And then, one of my friends was a coder, developer, and he was like, Baron, you should check out this thing called product design, UX. And I was like, let me kind of look into it. And then, I'll probably apply to like 200 like different startups, like literally cold calling them. And then I ended up, getting a break in a big London agency, and then the rest was all history. But then that's not conventional, that is like there was so many times I wanted to give up. I think only going through like life experiences did I have the grit to want to carry on. Those that don't have those life experiences, or you got to fall down 100, like 99 times, get up 100. What do? So I think that's something that the education system, like from lower key stage to higher education, I think it's kind of fudged all over the place, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I've spoken to many senior mining executives who say to me, you know what, that person coming out of, I'm just going to make up a school, okay, Colorado School of Mines, academic, brilliant, but I would never let that person in the room with a client, because they just can't save their lives, right? So they don't have any people skills. They're very academic, and that's why they did really well in the American K-12 system, the UK with GCSEs or A-levels, right? So there is a inverse correlation between the academic quality, the human skills that people have. In the UK, many mining companies hire from red brick universities, but the more progressive companies, the consultancies, they hire from places like Plymouth or Bournemouth, because they say these people are industry ready. I can put these on the ground, and they can communicate really, really well.
Yeah.
And just to follow up on what you said, Varun, I fully agree. that it is these moments of crisis sometimes, in your case, brain cancer, right? Caring, that really make somebody. I think when you've been through the ringer, you develop skills like nothing else. Nothing else. I know of a BBC scientist, Ian Stewart. He is world-renowned communicator, loads of documentaries, and he said there's nothing like a paycheck not coming in to focus your mind. He almost went bankrupt, and then he became globally famous. For me, I cared for somebody who literally forgot who I was my wife. She forgot who I was the day after I married her. And so it was a complete psychotic delusion. And right then, thrown into it, caring for someone with psychosis, schizophrenia, bipolar, I became fascinated with how the brain works. It was a horrible time, but it's what actually introduced me to neurology and the science of attention and memory formation, which brought me into the area of communication where I am now. So I just wanted to empathize with you and say I completely agree with you. But this links this whole subject that I started when I came in, cognitive diversity. We need to have people who think differently coming into solving the solutions of the mining industry, because the solutions are very diverse. And the only way to not solve them is if we all think the same.
You see, Hayden, on that point, it's even look at us four in this I guess live or whatever, this room, virtual room. I think that's something that we even touched upon on that first Mining Meets Digital webinar. We had, Cody there, we had Jim, Sean, and I think it was that diverse thinking. And these are like, even for myself and Umar, I think this is why we are, quadrupling down into mining, because one, like, there is this opportunity to completely innovate, right? Yes, the front stage, the perception, telling stories. There's a really cool stuff in the future that can happen around the smart mining operations. And then we've got, like, even, I think more and more, which is becoming more prevalent, is, the notion of RWAs and tokenization for the notion of like raising or utility. So I think it's a really interesting space. It's one of those ones as well where, how do you, I guess one of the other things is as well, you've got CEOs of mining companies, and, they are consciously hiring, maybe not from the big red brick, universities or institutions, but they are actually hiring, obviously, people from a mining, they've studied mining, they have that aptitude for mining, even if it's, a novice level. But I guess, how do you start attracting those that have never been exposed to mining, right? I'm talking about engineers that, I could see really great engineers, juniors, who are vibe coding and playing with AI in their room, and then you describe the problem to them in a language that they understand. Hey, we've got this area over here, this location, we've got this data here, solve this problem for us, what can you do? And I feel like if you can kind of give that almost like mini R&D to juniors that are fresh out of university, I think that would be a great win for a company, as well as like the students that are coming out into the industry searching very hard for not very much.
Yeah.
But is anybody even doing that? Like,
I hate to say it, though, you can talk about what school and that people all come out of, but I would say, I'm guessing this, but I would probably say 70 or 80%, the job is filled before it ever gets posted. It still comes down to who you know and how well you can communicate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, we have an additional problem now where, the AI is just used to filter all the CVs, and so there's actually reverse engineering of CVs to actually engage the AI, because people know that it's used. And so you've heard, I'm sure, these examples of people pasting the entire job description, white text on a white background. We can't see it, but the AI can, just make it goes through the system. No, Sean hasn't seen that before. People are just, it's crazy. It was
I've heard of this.
AI says the perfect fit. It's happening right now. And so Lindsay, for example, Sean, if you look at the whole interview, she actually has this problem right now. So people can't get positions filled. It's because people don't have the time to actually read CVs, or they just can't be bothered to read CVs.
Hayden, on that topic, the CVs now, so it's a twofold problem, right? Yes, you've got recruiters automating it, sifting through CVs and having a criteria that a system looks at. But at the same time, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's CVs, whether it's articles, it's all ChatGPT generated now as well.
Yeah.
So it's basically bots talking at bots. Like that's really the problem as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that is absolutely even worse for cognitive diversity within these organizations. Absolutely, it is, because you can train the bot to say, okay, I want people from the top mining schools. Problem. I want people who are like top flyer students who tick this criteria. What about the dropout? Yeah, what about the person who has a track record of doing crazy innovative things? That person will be excluded from that process unless you bring in someone like Lindsay, Sean, who actually physically reads hundreds of CVs every month. And sometimes people actually, wow, amazing, actually pick up the phone and call her. Then they've really got they've got her interest. So yeah, it's a crazy situation.
I started my career as a pilot, and I had one friend of mine get a job because he put in the application as a paper airplane.
No way. That's amazing.
It stood out. And that whole great big pile, there was one paper airplane application.
That's amazing.
Now here's something that Hayden, I hope you get a little bit of comfort out of this. I don't know if it's with all med schools and that, but you might get a kick out of this. My daughter it's the ultimate blessing. She got into Dalhousie Medical School right here in Halifax. Just unbelievably difficult to do. And but here's something I was really shocked at. Only 25% of the acceptance process was her grades. 40% was the interview.
Yeah, that's great.
Because they're getting too many people that are they should be in research. They'll never be able to deal with a patient. Do you follow what I mean? Because they're all the same knuckleheads on paper. They all have a 96. They all have high MCAT scores. They're all on paper. They're all the same character. I was floored when we found out that 40% was the interview, because I have a friend of mine who lives in Mongolia. She's from China. And I told her, hey, Alex got into med school. And one of the things she said, oh my God, she must have had 100 average. And I said, what do you mean by that? She said, in China, you're not 99. You can't even apply.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah. Yes.
So the world's changing a little bit. And by the way, before I forget, Varen, I'm really sorry about your dad.
Oh, no, I appreciate that.
I really am. Everybody's got a story that'll make you cry, but that's a tough one. I know people that have, it's my doctor at one point gave me a great line. She said, never forget this. Hell is hell. There's no better. There is no worse. And sometimes you go through it, and it's true. And the same thing with you, Hayden. That didn't sound like fun either. My wife wishes she could forget about me.
Here we go.
I doubt that, Sean. Nobody wants to forget you, mate.
Are you kidding? She'd trade me in for a Klondike bar.
Is she watching? Oh, yeah.
No. Does he know I'm home?
Oh, God.
That's hilarious.
The best part of having a medical school daughter, though, is all the books behind me make me look really smart. Calculus and chemistry and all that stuff.
That's what we said last time. We were like, Sean's background's so cool. He's got like so many books and stuff. He must be, just deep in it. All this theology, all these 4-3-101.
I got my son's football helmet. It makes it look like I'm an ex-football player.
It works, though. It totally works.
This is the only thing for my mining background. Right? I got this little pirate coconut guy, right?
What's the story behind that pirate coconut guy?
Yeah, well, my biological father was from Tahiti. And if here's a little bit TMI, but you might find this funny. When I was 37 years old, my mother came clean that my dad wasn't my dad. My dad was actually a Tahitian pearl diver she fell in love with on vacation in friggin' Hawaii. I shit you not.
You looked a bit now. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it.
I know I'm turning into Moana.
I love it.
But that's so once I found that out, I turned the whole inside of my house into a cheesy seafood restaurant.
That's
No.
crazy story.
Yeah,
Really,
life
really
is funny.
be like, oh
Can
my
I
God.
just do something? I don't have access to the chat. I'm going to put something in the private chat.
Yeah,
If
sure.
you can post that into the public chat, that'd be great.
Yep. Sure.
It's a free tool that I launched 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, as my son's interrupting here. It's a free tool I launched 2 weeks ago, and I was reminded about this because, Varun, you were just talking about the content that we teach at school, at GCSEs, for example, K-12, whatever. It needs to speak to students, right? It needs to speak to their personal interests. Otherwise, it is just rote teaching to the test. And so, based on this, a few weeks ago, SRK Consulting, who is a global consultancy firm, they sponsored the production of this. This is a free resource to all geology, geoscience, earth science, physical geography teachers. This is a completely free resource that I created. And so what this does is it actually creates cross-curricular links to other subjects. So the teacher of the earth science related subject, which is mining, for example, will be able to reverse engineer the way they deliver that content by making unexpected connections with creative thinkers, such as people who love music, art, people who love maths, who love physics and chemistry, with history, with English. So all of these people who love different subjects, we're a heterogeneous species, right, will all be fascinated by the earth sciences, because it will make those unexpected and curious and delightful connections. So that's what that tool does. And that's why it was supported by the mining sector, because they have this issue like public perception about mining, getting kids into mining and stuff like that. Well, for me, kids don't really like mining. All the research shows that they got a very bad perception of mining. It's worse than oil and gas, which is that's saying something. So what we need to do is we need to introduce the subject in a roundabout way, making them feel connected to the planet and having them come to these moments of insight themselves. That's real learning, It's not what you have to do, Varun, which is just memorizing for a test. Having them come to these moments of insight, where they will come to the conclusion that, okay, everything that I have in my life is down to industries like mining, something like that. Anyway, so that's what that tool does there. So if you can share that, that'd be really cool.
Can me, Uma, and Sean get free access to it, even though we're not?
It's free. It's free. It's free for everyone in the world.
Awesome.
There it is, guys.
Yeah, it's free.
Go check
That's
it
really,
out.
really, really cool, Hayden.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The other day as well, I don't know who wrote the article, and I think maybe one of you guys engaged with it, but it was also on the topic of getting, and this is on the topic of getting the younger generation, specifically even Gen Z focused, not necessarily millennials and maybe Gen Alpha, but it's getting them more engaged into mining or other industries. And there was this conversation around leveraging influencers, right? But I think when I read the article, it was very focused on leveraging influencers from mining, right? I.e. these young geologists, which, have 200K following on TikTok. And it got me thinking that, okay, that's great, but their following is mainly going to be other people that are interested in geology already, right? But it won't necessarily turn the head and get people that are never really given mining a chance. So and then I just wanted to kind of, even on this topic, kind of discuss around that, because I always had when me and Uma were doing the Mining Meets Digital, and we were discussing ideas. I think at one point I was like, Uma, do you know what would be really cool? And it was similar to so I don't know if you guys are familiar with iShowSpeed. Have you heard? Okay, iShow. Oh, wow. Okay, iShowSpeed is. Oh god, Uma, but find a funny video of iShowSpeed, right? So he is an influence. He's an influencer.
He just does crazy lives. These guys are on live all day. They do live marathons. They travel the world, and he's got 30 or 40 million subscribers. So the younger generation love live streaming because they feel like you don't have to edit it. It's just straight up face value. There's no BS involved. There's no cutting scenes out. It is what it is. You know, that's why I think they're really streaming has really live stream has really kicked off in the last few years. I think it's just really picked up, especially with the younger guys. So they were on Twitch, Kick, obviously YouTube as well. Not YouTube as much because apparently when they say a few swear words, the YouTube kicks you off. So, but they're really big on the streaming platforms. They started with gaming and now it's evolved into like just lifestyle, just talking. It was a lot of Call of Duty streaming, etc.
Even look at this. I don't know if you guys are going to hit my audio. We'll be doing it together. Sorry, dude. So iShowSpeed, like we've mentioned, he is an influencer, just really charismatic. You know, back in the day, we probably had comedians on TV shows, but it's on YouTube now. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And they have unbelievable following. That's why like people like Logan Paul, KSI, they can launch a drink called Prime and it go absolutely viral pretty much within weeks. And yeah, it's because of their following, right? It is these streamers and influencers. They have at times bigger followings than the biggest brands that we know and that we kind of consume. But even iShowSpeed, I think it was interesting that he ended up doing a trip to China, I think Mongolia, and you just saw like a wave of Gen Alphas and Gen Z, like really like becoming more learned about China, right? And I don't know if you guys can hear it. Can you hear this?
No.
But basically, they're showing that this is on Good Night LA, right? On the news, Fox, and they're showing iShowSpeed's like highlights off his China trip. That's how big it is, right?
There's some like quick clips, like just run through it.
Yeah, even this just has some like
dance with a robot.
He's just dancing with a robot.
But you know what it did actually? This is a really cool moment because I think a lot of people at that point thought China.
Look how many live viewers.
Is that real?
Yeah.
No, that's the subscribers. That's the subscribers. Right. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is it's like a lot of people thought at that point, especially the younger generation, China's got all these, kids, locked up, doing all the factory work. I don't know if that's true or not. But what I'm trying to say is when he did these streams, everyone was saying like, hey, these cities look better than I'm going to repost Hayden's comment here, but these cities look better than the US, and they look super clean, and they're so advanced technology. It actually changed a lot of young people's mind around that whole aspect of what is China, how does it look like, what are the people like, and people realize, oh, they're just normal people. I thought Chinese were completely different type of people, and then you get this little streamer go over there and talk to Chinese people, and they're like, oh, they're pretty similar to us. And
even like he put kind of Mongolia on the map now, right? He shared so much of the culture, and it's just through him going through being humorous, being highly engaged. Like I think more than anything, you get iShowSpeed going like onto actual mines and like just getting his personality out there, speaking to geologists, experience.
Get him with Jimmy.
Get him with Jimmy. Oh my God, Jimmy and iShowSpeed would be hilarious. But sorry to kind of veer off, but I guess this is kind of what we were, this is a way of actually engaging, and it's not. It's almost you've got these incumbent influencers from mining, but then I think it's how you can start turning heads. How we've kind of always discussed, the notion of getting the crypto crowd in. Maybe it's the whole notion of tokenization bridges the gap, and it's the same thing on the younger generation and leveraging influencers. How about you use influencers, from music, from other industries, not just mining centered ones?
Yeah. Just to be clear, I think you're referring to my article, possibly. I'm not sure. I put that in the chat. And I was talking about leveraging geoscience influencers. I think leveraging mining influencers would be a bad idea, to be honest with you. Maybe I'll get onto that in a moment. But the ones that I know personally have about 10 million followers between them. Wow. They don't do anything about mining. Pretty much never. Most of their followers, and just to be very clear about this, most geoscientists, and I include myself, as I'm a geoscientist, most geoscientists don't know anything about mining. Okay. What they know about is a bunch of stuff, right? They know about atmospheric science, they know about earthquakes, they know about waste management, they know about land contamination. Mining is just a tiny subset of the geoscience. It's a vast subject. It could be talking about icebergs, it could be, whatever. So what the people I was talking about were like Kate Larson, Ethan Penner, who have just between them 5 million. They have an engaged, and they're authentic. They don't represent the industry, which is a problem. If you represent the industry, that is already a problem. So they don't represent the industry. In fact, I gave them a hypothetical. I said, if Rio Tinto was to give you 100 grand to go to one of your mines and just do a piece for them, what would you say? And they were like, you know what? That would change my life, because these are almost broke content creators. That would change my life, but I would have to say no. And I was like, what are you talking about? They said, well, because I would lose all my followers. They don't trust me. They don't trust mining. I have to do my due diligence on any mining partner. If you think about that, a broke content creator doing due diligence on a $100 billion cap company, that doesn't make any sense. But that's the reality. That's how toxic the mining's image is right now. So the mining influencers that I know, I've done audits on them. They have millions of followers, but if you look at the demographics who are following them, 90% male, 80% have an interest in motorbikes. This is not the demographic that we need to target. We just don't need to target them. We need to target a way faster general public. It would be great to target those influencers that, like you just mentioned, who are very charismatic. You have hundreds, millions of followers, but they would do their due diligence on the right. They would be like, "Can we really put our name on this? It could hurt us."
Yeah, for sure.
You're probably going to say what I'm going to say, Baron, is like, they've already been burnt with so many crypto coins and being, part of these rug pulls. And I think that's really hurt a lot of influencers, because, the management usually brings in, because we know a few, but, what happens is the management brings in these deals and they're like, hey, you're going to get 100K, it's this coin, there's minimal DD into it. And
we've done our due diligence, it's good.
And then they end up like pumping, this coin up, and then before you know it, all the investors, all the followers, hate them. And there's that guy, what's called CoffeeZilla. He starts exposing everyone, right? He has a show. This guy called CoffeeZilla, got a great show, and he literally just, goes in on people who are like that and finds all these scams and rug pulls, and it's interesting.
I love Elizabeth Freeman's comment there, guys. If you got a chance, right?
AI
avatar influencers are taking off too across loads of platforms, mining content to take advantage of it.
So I got my thoughts on that. I got my thoughts on that. I think on product kind of related stuff that could work. But just I think that's where kind of the buck will really stop, right? I think D2C products, they 100% can leverage these AI influencers, AI almost like these lifestyle individuals, which can amass 40 to 50K following, and actually without being too I don't know how to kind of share this on this platform, but if you look at a huge chunk of these AI influencers, they look a certain way, and the following is significantly male orientated, from specific regions who have billions of individuals. So similar to kind of what Hayden was kind of implying as well is, will they attract the right market? I genuinely feel like, who did something really well, and Umar, I agree with you around the notion of, and Hayden, getting influencers to represent mines, specifically mining companies, might not be the right call, but it's really actually just getting people interested, right? Whether that's using Web3 or like I personally, for the most part, enjoyed Idris Elba's docu-movie Gold, right? So I think especially the first half, and I feel like there's some things that I would have loved, me now being in the industry, I'm like, oh my God, they could have gone so much more. That the first quarter, that should have been the first half of the whole documentary. But I thought that was a great representation on how to use a mega influencer or an influencer to kind of communicate to the masses, right? And story fire it and engage with it and bring fans of that individual along. Like if you like Idris Elba, you're going to probably give that documentary a go. You're going to watch that documentary, whether you agree with most of it or not. You'll walk away more informed about mining and gold as a whole. And then, you know, if, for example, later down the line, you see a stock, whether it's a Web3 stock or a conventional junior stock, and it's related to mining, you might just be that little bit more open to doing a little bit of that more research into it. So that's kind of where I think it
Hayden Sean, like, either you can add to it. It's like, do you think money, like, you know, if there was a big influx of, like, you know, like retail investment and everything's pumping, do you think that even changes anything? Like, you know, especially like we're talking about education here, we're talking about loads of different issues, and it's like, I don't know, is because then you are right, Hayden, because, you know, why would influencers or people just want to be pumping and dumping, you know, stocks, or like, you know, it's like a balance where it's so hard, right? Because it's like a lot of people don't even understand the industry. Like when I first got in, I didn't really understand what's going on. So, you know, it's interesting.
No, sorry, my kids are invading my room, guys.
That's all right.
Anyway,
like me and Uma have to go to a totally different jurisdiction to get away from the kids.
No, the thing is, yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, I think you're basically saying this kind of influencer stuff, like you were saying with Bitcoin, it could be just be pouring paraffin onto an already very volatile industry, and that's just not what we want. We want more stability, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
You know? With the Idris Elba documentary, I have mixed feelings about that. Like most of you, I really liked it. I think he's a great narrator. It's surprising how much he himself doesn't talk about that. Actually, I don't know why that is.
What's that, Hayden? Sorry?
He doesn't really talk about that, the actor himself. He doesn't really talk about his involvement in that outside. Obviously,
we can find out. Sorry to jump in, but we can. Me and Uma can probably find out. So
just probably find out. Yeah.
Interesting fact. So shout out V. He grew up with Idris Elba. So, you know, shout out Bangles as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, if we wanted to find out, we could ask.
Fine. And it's not really the point. The point is he was obviously paid. He's an A-list celebrity. Obviously paid very well to do that. If you look at the comments underneath the video and the type of engagement they received, half of the people actually say, where the heck did this video come from? I was just surfing the web and it just popped up. The World Gold Council, who made it, obviously spent a lot on that production, and even more potentially on promoting it. That's why it just kept getting bombarded with it. And if you look at the World Gold Council in general, if you look at their other videos on their YouTube page, well, it's pretty obvious. You're getting the other videos. You can look at other videos on their platform there. You're getting something like 56 million views and 5 comments. It doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make sense.
It's paid. It's very, very. They're throwing so much money behind it. And you'll get a bunch of comments there saying this is really good, big fan of him, and all that kind of stuff. But you go down and people are. I clicked on this accidentally. There you go.
Yeah, actually, that makes a sense because if you think about it's had 23 million views and only 5,000 comments, it doesn't really it's more comments.
But remember, this is an A-list celebrity. But that's not. If you go up there, if you look at the World Gold Council's other YouTube videos, I'll give you a really good example. You just click on there. Yeah. Down. Okay. No.
Elton John as well. Like so. They. Yeah.
But then there's some other ones that I can't remember. If you keep going down there,
go into videos.
Videos, yeah, you do that. Okay, here we go. So a bit further, maybe a bit further down. That worth its weight in gold has been going around for a while. There's a one with I think a lady, a young Asian lady looking into the distance and very hopeful. And that there you go. There, right there. There, stop. Invest in tomorrow. That one there. Click on that one. Check it out. 53 million views. Check it out. How many likes? Now you can do the maths, right?
Oh
how,
my god,
Oh
that's,
my god.
that's been plotted out so hard.
how much money have they splashed out on that?
That's what I'm saying. They must have spent like absolute bucks to get that many views.
Yeah,
No,
it's great.
Just put on Hayden. Nice, nice.
Even,
9 comments. That's it.
that is hilarious.
5 million views and 5 comments. I might put a comment on there. Be like, hey guys,
Yeah,
check out. Baron, put a comment on there.
What about
You guys,
Yeah.
you guys want to hear something funny? Because it's you guys know what our business does, right? Public companies send us their shareholder list. We find out who's still alive, who's still interested, blah, 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 blah. We update their contact info. Our number one comment we get back is, are you a robot?
Because there's so many robots calling up nowadays.
Even the emails. If let's say somebody says, hey, can you send me the presentation? Send them the presentation. And then they respond back, are you sure you're not a robot? I respond back, pretty sure. Are you sure? Pretty sure. Are you sure? How do I know? Tell you what, I'll make a spelling mistake. All right.
Yeah.
I've had it go 7 threads before the person still didn't believe me. And I said, tell you what, give me your telephone number and I'll call you. And then I get a phone number.
That's crazy.
You know,
The number one thing is, are you a robot?
but Sean, like that's one of the biggest reasons also me and Umar are doing this, right? Because you know, we want to be as authentic as possible. We can tell from a mile away as soon as any content on LinkedIn, a proposal, anything is written by ChatGPT or formed by
hands up, I've used ChatGPT to write content. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be like, I've never used ChatGPT. Of course I have, but because I found, sometimes but then me and Ryan had this conversation. We were like, I was like, bro, we're like getting stupid by using it. Like we're genuinely cheating because we're using it, and it's getting really getting to a point that I'm not actually learning anything. And I said, I'm just refuse to use it unless it's my own thoughts. And so I've just been freestyling ever since. I'm just like, you know what? People like it, they like it, and it makes sense. And if they don't, I don't really care, to be honest. I'm just like, rather be authentic.
Yeah, Umar, look, we're service providers as well as entrepreneurs, and a big part of it is when we work with people, we have to deliver value, and ChatGPT ain't gonna deliver that value. It's the critical thinking, the problem solving, the creativity is gonna come from here, right? And I agree with you on that, but yeah, and as I was saying, this is a big reason why we're even doing this. I know there's probably going to be AI avatar videos, and I can train a model to, after throwing 50 photos of myself and 25 videos and turning my head and saying the alphabet in a certain way, and I could create videos like that. But at the same time, I ain't going to lie, we're enjoying this as well, right? So that's part of it as well. So yeah, AI avatars and bots and stuff like that, I think it's just going to be part of the internet economy going forward anyway.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's getting late for you guys. I know it's getting late for me, 2 hours in.
I appreciate it, guys. Katie, you can stick by. If you got to go, you got to shoot, brother. You got to shoot. But it's Sean. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Likewise. This is eye-opening for me. And
that's what it's about, honestly. Yeah,
and sharing this stuff with people, and I said, listen, if you're not following these guys, you're really missing the boat, because they're not interested in just getting bullshit views. They're interested in really disrupting a whole bloody industry. And if we don't start talking to different people, as Hayden's saying, would you call it graying out or something like that? It's going to happen. There's no doubt about it. 10 years ago, the average age of a mining investor was 64. Sorry. That's 10 years ago. I don't think it got younger.
Probably got older.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Right, Sean, we really appreciate it.
I'm honored. I really am. For sure.
Honestly, me and Umar we speak about you daily. And we just really appreciate.
Please tell me you're not in the shower.
At times. Now in Tahitian heritage. Oh man, Moana. But no, honestly, we really appreciate you.
That's gonna stick.
But we really appreciate you just being an advocate for us as well, and
supporting the vision.
Here's I'm gonna do something for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to that New Orleans conference, and I'll do this for Hayden as well. All right.
Yeah.
It's the more I help, the luckier I get, and I always put a big screen TV on my booth.
Yeah.
and I put up, this is what the future is. This is what you should probably be taking a look at. And so if you guys have something, Hayden's got something. If you guys have something you'd like me to put up, we have between now and November to do it. So it's not like it's a race.
Let's do it. We got to talk about the ad you want to do anyways. Sure.
We'll talk over the weekend. No big deal. All right. I'm honored. But seriously, I have a big screen TV at the booth. If it helps you guys,
of course,
let's do something together. Okay.
Let's do it.
Honored, guys. And Hayden, you always sound so damn smart.
Hayden, he's a smart.
I don't know what to say to that, really.
It's a compliment. It really is. Like you being good. I love the way you say narrator. I love that.
Oh, it's the accent. I get it. Right, yeah.
It's not just your accent.
My brother lives in Florida. He lives in Orlando, and he got a job at the radio station because he has this Oxford English. I think that's it. It just sounds smart, but it's all bullshit. Don't worry about it.
You know what you'll love. I started my career as a pilot, and on my commercial pilot exam, there was a little thing. It said, the answer is A, B, and C was, I seem to have gotten myself in a spot of bother. I don't know.
Spot of bother.
That was great. All right.
Sean, it's been an absolute
honored, guys. Thank you very, very, very much. All right. Cheers, brothers.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Sean.
Likewise.
See you next Friday.
All right.
We got a really this. We're going to squeeze together. What's going on? What happened there? That was a bit weird. This is a really good. Varun, do you want to read that out by Jacob?
Jacob, thank you for the comment. A sad reality in the mining space. Maybe Sean or Hayden, Uma, can attest to this. Now that capital is finally flowing back to the juniors, every service provider ever is calling up execs looking for a new contract. And without naming names or pointing fingers, I've seen and heard these marketing companies pitch companies I work with, showing seemingly botted videos, 100k views, one like, one comment. And on that note, how do you execs identify good partners when there are seemingly scams, poor options, and I can't read the rest of it, Uma.
I think he's companies claim their audience showing botted videos. How do you? I think that's how you find out, right? You just have a look and you realize it's got one comment.
But then it's not even a mining problem. That's
global.
That's global. That's every industry, right? You can bot it. There's websites to go to buy views, to buy followers, to buy engagement. So I think that's just a problem.
And that's one thing we stopped doing is I think when we were targeting other industries, we used to do a lot of email campaigns and all this. And honestly, I just felt like there's another 1,000 companies doing the same thing. It's kind of pointless. It's just no point because you don't really build a real connection. I think if people see your value, they'll find you. But it is that
it's basic education. I mean, I speak to when I did all my modules on social media, and I talk about engagement rate. Well, I assume that people understand what engagement rate is. They don't. They really don't know what engagement rate is. And so, I have to say, reach divided the comments divided by reach times 100, whatever. And there are tools out there. So just hyper auditor, for example, is really incredibly powerful to look at the legitimacy and the health of any social media account. So I mean, I think it really just is education, which is why I'm so excited when I get my training licensed by a big entity. I know that in this case it's mining communication. Of course, it's mining communication. I know that now there's going to be 14,000 people. Well, about half of them actually in the mining sector in Canada will now have access to communication training, which will actually help them communicate and understand social media and do a better job in communicating their value to stakeholders. For me, it is just getting the word out there and training them. I think it's the only way, really.
Yeah, and I think on the topic, I think, Jacob quite literally asked on that note, how do execs identify good partners, right? And I think it's a combination of stuff. It's, having multiple conversations with them. It's, do they have a cookie cutter approach? I think trying to get some idea of their track record as well, maybe speaking directly to people that have worked with them as well. But I also think that, with any, I've worked client side, I've worked agency side, and I think a big part of it also is, regardless of what the big ambition, the big engagement, the big project is, I always believe in the notion of like think big but start small. And then sometimes you just gotta just test stuff out. It's like you go to a restaurant. You're not going to buy the whole menu. You try something out first, right, at a small scale. And in approach that I feel like it's companies which go to vendors and say, I want this, and the vendor says yes, this is how much it is. Like, I feel like that's to an extent somewhat of a red flag. The vendors that you go to them and you ask them, I want this, and they ask, why? Are you sure? Is this what you need? And they take that, I would say, like more consultative approach, and they give some upfront value in their ideas and their insights. That's the ones that you could probably take a bit more notice of. Like, that's just based on my experience and opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So the best people I know about doing this, and they don't pay me to say this, is a company called Deswick. And they are, you've heard of them. So they're an Australian-based company, but they have offices around the world. And so they're really good because they create products that they have conferences, they set up themselves, they invite their clients, and anyone else can go. And they actually actively just want to hear the problems that clients have. And then they'll go away and create solutions to those problems, like tech solutions, software solutions. Exactly. So this is the power of empathy, which is just literally listening, and then going away and saying, okay, here you go. Coming with your solution, which is going to do everything and wash the dishes and everything, that it's not an organic way to do it. So yeah.
So it's even, Umar, it might be even worth, like, I'll just run through the discovery deck, right? So Outliers, we have what we call a discovery process. What I'm going to show you is something that me and Umar have refined, him as an entrepreneur, myself as a practitioner of digital, and it's something that, it's our process at how we would launch and have launched multiple tech products, right? But in the next few weeks, we've started adapting it in the background because we're getting a lot of, demand on doing discoveries, not just on the product side. Obviously, that's from a different industry, but, specific to like small cap listed companies or pre-IPO, we're kind of running discoveries. And, that's just discoveries on a lot of the front stage activities, marketing, brand, digital presence, but also it starts to touch upon some of the infrastructure stuff and, the notion of, hey, we are thinking about leveraging Web3 and tokenization. How do we go about doing that? What does that look like? But, I look at the analogy, and you can look at mining. Before you start digging in the ground, you're going to do exploration. Before you go to, before a doctor can prescribe you anything, you're going to do a diagnosis. So that's kind of the process that we've taken. But I just kind of, don't know if it'll be worth it.
I'm going to let you go ahead and do that because I have to give food to the kids. Okay.
No, that's right. I really appreciate you, jumping on. You always add so much value. I'm sure people, really appreciate it. We do.
Yeah. All right.
Take care. See you soon, buddy. Take care.
There we go.
I wasn't even sharing my screen, was I?
There you go.
How do I share my screen? There it is.
So it's come to the dark hours now.
Yeah, dark hours. Look, we've got 16 viewers. Appreciate you guys joining 10 o'clock or wherever you guys are.
Yeah. Honestly, guys, we've just been freestyling since we jumped on these lives. There will be way more structured, way more topics. We'll work on that. But, the first thing is, jumping on a live, just, have to build your confidence up. You have to start enjoying it. It takes a little while. And it's like, me and Baron don't come from that. We don't do this stuff usually. It's since we've, we did the mining meets digital webinar. I think we just got that bug of, hey, let's just jump on cams on Friday and have a bit of fun.
No, I look forward to it. I used to have Friday date nights, so apologies, Natal. You can take it up with Umar and Sam. Not my fault. But no, on a serious note.
And everyone, if you can, just subscribe to our YouTube. We would love you to keep sharing. Follow the journey. Thank you, Sam.
So Yeah, I think we'll keep on doing this till the wheels fall off, and then we'll Fred Flintstone it, right? But Umar, what I'm going to do is just for those people that are interested, I'm going to walk them through a product discovery. Obviously, guys, this is going to be adapted for what we're doing in terms of how we help organizations grow and innovate. But it's really like we've seen it too many times where it's the notion of like when you're going to build a house, before you even lay that first brick, you want to get planning permission, you want to speak to an architecture, you want to get designs. There's so many things before that first brick gets laid. But you'll see in the technology sector and loads of other sectors that they just get straight onto executing on an idea from the get-go. And I'm talking large enterprises and all the way to like funded startups. So like, the problem is, and, this is what I'd like people to do is almost like think about this from the perspective. It's not just building tech products, apps and software, but it's actually any initiative, whether you're trying to launch a new business, whether you're trying to innovate it, whether you're trying to market in a different way and, put $500,000 into a big ass campaign, right? But the notion is, that so many people end up focusing on like functionality and the things that they kind of lose sight on value. But on the topic of whether it's building a software or launching a marketing campaign, like a lot of them fail. Like I would say like significant, like over 90% fail. A lot of them don't even see the light of day. And a big reason for that is people skip validation. And what that means is they just don't get a sentiment of like, is this going to work through real world testing? So like experimentation is a really big thing. It's almost like you take an idea, don't throw all your eggs in that basket. Figure out a way to test it in a very, very cheap, efficient way to get some learnings. And then the other notion is, I've put it here, being too feature driven. And what that means is you just add loads of features, you add loads of bells and whistles and make it just so massive, spend so much money on it, and you create a lot of things that people don't even need. And, common scenario, whether it's tech, whether it's marketing, you do a lot of upfront scoping, a hell of a lot of upfront design. Then you pass it off to the people that are going to build it, that are going to execute on it, and then eventually you get it out in the real world, right? And usually like this is 2 years, 18 months, big budgets, and that's when they test out product market fit. And usually what me and Umar kind of highlighting is like through the notion of a discovery, like you de-risk investing into the wrong idea, but you also make sure that the best solution isn't missed. And really, this is something that probably me and Umar use in life, not just in business and as a service provider. But it's the notion of Pareto's law, right? It's, our approach is guided by Pareto's law by focusing on developing 20% of something to address 80% of the value. That is basically how we believe is probably the best way to kind of approach it. Whether that's launching, 20% of features to get 80% of the value. But yeah, I won't go too much into this stuff, but in a nutshell, that's kind of what a product discovery is. Umar, what's your thoughts on this notion of product discovery?
I think it's great. But you know what? We've just had I want you to share private chat what Anton said about being a bot. I'm just confused. I'm so confused. I know he's not a bot. He's a real person, right? You've met him, right? Have you been on a call with him?
No, I haven't been on a call with him.
So just share screen the thing. I think it's interesting. Anton, we're going to jump on a call with you.
To be honest, I can't even get to his thing.
Should I screenshot it, please?
Yeah, screenshot it.
Or should I send it to your WhatsApp?
Yeah. Has he replied again?
Anton, are you in the chat still? You're not a bot. I'm not a bot. There you go. I'm not a bot. I wrote article, LinkedIn, attached document, show, receive. Yeah, we know you're not a bot. It's fine. No, I'm we're just going to read out your statement. Apologies, Anton. We will jump on a call. I'm going to send Baron it now so you can give it a good old read.
I think he even messaged someone from our comment section as well. All right, let's just see.
Please record until we can come on a live with us, Anton.
Oh man!
Read
All
it
right,
out.
a few
Share
days.
it on the screen.
Hold on. Am I sharing my screen?
No.
No, hold on. Let me share it. Anton just disappeared.
We can debunk it, Anton. Come on, Anton. Give us a chance, brother. Give us a chance.
But maybe that's feedback. You know, similar. You gave us feedback. Maybe that's feedback we're probably giving you. You know, the perception.
We weren't joking as well. You know, we were having a laugh. You know.
Yeah, it's just. But maybe it's just, you know, how it's coming across. But you know what happened a few days ago. Umar published a post, as I commented using AI help format my thoughts more clearly and efficiently.
Fair
Important.
enough.
The ideas are mine. I guide the tone, the message, the structure. AI is just a tool, like Grammarly or Translator. It saves time, but it didn't replace me. On Friday evening, I got a notification that Umar Rafiq started a live stream. I joined. It was a good conversation. I asked questions directly. No AI involved. Then one of the speakers started talking about wars and bombs and mentioned that I previously worked for the Russian Ministry of Defense General Staff. And suddenly, Varun, one of the panelists, claimed I was a bot. I was blocked. He also said,
You weren't blocked, but then we can't block you.
If I was truly understood Web3, I wouldn't write things like that. Like what? The truth. I'm now waiting for official apology from the live stream organizers, specifically Umar and Varun.
I've already given you an apology, bro.
From the Ministry of Defense issued during my service. Did the bot forge that? No, dude, I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. We're not saying that you are a bot, like as in your profile and your history and your being in life and your achievements. We're not saying that. We're not saying that. But what we're implying is that it's coming across in the comments, on the chat, and on our LinkedIn posts as a bot. That's what we're implying. So I apologize if you've taken it the wrong way.
Yeah, just jump on the next live. We can sort it all out. You know, prove your identity. No. We're just messing. You know, it's a free world. Everyone can use AI. You can use it. No, I've used ChatGPT plenty of times. I have a membership, but I use Claude, ChatGPT, everything because it's a great tool. It's a great tool. If you don't use it, then there's a song playing.
I don't know how that's happened.
Oh, what are you trying to get? Oh, I'll put it in mute. So Varun's got some late music on. Varun, you've got something.
That was not on purpose. It was a song came on that had a very sorrow melody. That was not intentional. But
copyright struck down. YouTube gone. 40 YouTube subscribers.
Have you got 40 now?
Nah, I think we've got 39 still. We're getting.
Just one more.
Anyone got any questions? Just throw some in the chat. Anyone got any questions? What else has been going on this week, Varun?
What has been going on this week?
Obviously, we had Trump in the UK.
He was in Windsor.
Oh, yeah, you said right.
He was in Windsor. You know, obviously he had that great dinner with all those billionaires and technology CEOs. I don't know where was I invited. That would have been lovely. I think the food would have been banging. That would have been great to have. I know you love good food, man.
The big spread.
And actually, to be honest, I don't probably look at politics as much as I should. But what was he doing here, Umar?
Oh, you're just doing deals. This is what Trump does, right? He's Mr. Art of the Deal.
Art of the deal.
You know, he's had. I skimmed through some articles, and he's trying to work with the UK to become the AI global hub. UK and US have a great relationship. I don't see it as a bad thing. I think in the UK we do need investment. It really does help. So let's hope UK's on the up.
So we had a lot of chats with some tech folk, right?
Yeah. Anton, I'll delete the person just made you. I'm not a bot. I'm a real person. We know you're a real person, Anton. We're just messing with you.
Let's just Anton. We will invite you to our next call. We'll probably be
Even
best.
if you don't want to come on the live, we'll just jump on a call with you. It'd be funny.
Yeah, dude. Like,
I
honestly,
love this little back and forth.
like, look, we'll probably
Not-
we'll end up being best friends probably in the future, us three. You know, you might help us on some Web3 projects. You never know. But yeah, so it's all good. Miscommunications, misunderstandings happen all the time.
Exactly that.
Some guys come for smoke though, on a serious level though. I tell you what's been popping, that's been getting my eyes is so obviously the new Meta glasses have come out, Meta display, and if you can see here is this notion of basically it's, I don't know what I'd probably kind of leverage it and call it like augmented reality. It's not virtual reality. Virtual reality is you wear the headset. Augmented reality is where it is layered on a camera. This could actually be more mixed reality because those are prescription. They could be prescription lenses. So it layers it onto actual physical areas. But I think it's cool, little nifty idea. Basically, the notion is with certain applications and certain bits of content, i.e. WhatsApp, video calls, navigation, maybe some content or actions. It basically allows you to display it on there, right? I think the current Meta glasses, I think V has them. I've been tempted to get them. We probably eventually will, when we're doing like more POV content and stuff. But essentially, I think they're much more AI voice and audio.
That is a cool concept, though. I like it.
I think it's a great concept. I think it's where it's definitely heading.
Actually, imagine you walking around a new town. You're on holiday. You whack your glasses on. Oh, I can hear that. You whack your glasses on. You can see the maps. See what you don't have to reach for your phone.
No, it's pretty cool. Like, oh yeah. So the other thing is you've got this wristband that focuses on gestures. So I always think the gestures of like VR and AR is a bit of a, we're so used to tapping and scrolling and pinching. Doing that with your hand by your waist, possibly. I think there's probably a bit of a learning curve, but if people like it, they'll learn it. Actually, this is actually the other good thing. I think iPod Air 3, AirPods 3, and obviously what they're doing here is this notion of live translation, right? So the fact that someone's speaking to you in Spanish and it can translate it there live, right? I think that's pretty good, that it can kind of do that. I think that's quite a unique little thing. But I think it's, eventually with stuff like this, the way it's probably going to head, I think the design is okay, but
I don't mind those glasses. I quite like the thick side.
It is bulky though, man. It's super bulky.
I think all of them are because they've got so much tech in them.
That's what it is, right? So these are the gestures. You got to pinch like this, do a little bit of that. So you probably end up seeing a lot of people just doing that. Obviously, you've got the cameras. I like the fact that it's got this kind of tint on it. What else is going on here? Yeah, okay, cool. This is pretty good. Like if you want references for certain things as well, it can kind of give you that. I think it's a cool product. So apparently, Mark Zuckerberg did the demo of this, and the demo basically crashed. It completely bugged out, and it bugging out went super viral. Right.
It's kind of like the Elon Musk thing when he was like, these windows are bulletproof. He threw, what did he throw? Like a
was it
metal
something
cracked, and he was like, okay, we'll sort that out next time. And then everyone got
it went viral though, right?
Like that. Smart.
But this is the same thing. It's going to go viral. I delete the post. Sorry. Okay, I'll come back in a week. As for glasses, don't you think Apple will be the first to do so? Yeah, I thought Apple would be, but I also think that Apple, it just seems that this is a little bit behind the races at the moment, in all sorts of things. I think the AirPods are great. I think we discussed that iPhone 17 Pro and Air last week. The AirPods are a cool product. I would expect Apple to come up with probably one of the best looking and the better user experience for their product. but they probably won't be the first mover. I don't think.
Mm.
And you never know what OpenAI
The
is.
AI, right? So it's kind of like they went for this AI race, and now they're like kind of just backed off, and they're just focusing more on products. They did have what's it called, the eyeglass.
What, the Vision Pro?
The headset is a Vision Pro. Is it the one
Yeah,
you want?
Vision Pro.
I guess that's fine for when you're at home, when you're.
I've used it. It's fun. Like when you're doing boxing, it's hilarious. I think I played The Walking Dead with it, and I won't do that again because it's too freaking scary. Like,
Really?
yeah, you're gonna comment when you're playing a game normally and you've got your live environment here. You're like, cool, like, you know, whether it's whatever games it is, but in that, like when it's a dark corner and you run out of bullets and you're running around and you're getting chased by zombies. Not fun, man. Like sometimes it's a little bit too immersive. But yeah, on that topic, I think people that probably keep an eye on is OpenAI, right? So OpenAI obviously bought like Johnny Ives is like the he's a protege to Steve Jobs, right? He I think he designed the iPod, the Shuffle, like loads of great innovations and progresses with all the iPhones. So like obviously they are partnering up with him. They have bought out one of his companies. So you can imagine like OpenAI is gonna, you know, right now they are what you would call a software application company, but I think their next move is turning into a product company, right? Think about how many users use ChatGPT right now. Imagine if they come up with a really cool wearable, amazingly designed, branded great, and then it's backed by the ex-Apple designer, right? The Apple designer. Naturally, yeah, but I think the thing that they're creating is this, whether it's a pendant, it could be a ring, could be some form of ear attachment. They're talking about this thing of like always on, right? It's a notion of always on.
Scary though.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine if something's always listening and watching.
But your phone does that, right?
Yeah, or not many people believe it, but in reality, it does, right?
I swear, like I will be going through something, and I've just had a conversation, and then before you know it, it's like it's offering me the.
Well, you get that ad. Nah, yeah. That's too intrusive. I think I bought was it Alexa, like generation when it came out. And then I think I had a similar experience to what you were saying, and then I was just like, "Nah, I got to turn this off." But saying that, yeah, I don't know. I think these wearables are becoming a lot more common. Everybody's loving using AirPods. You know, I chat to AI every day. You know, when I need to transcribe and do my ideas. So yeah, I think that's the next kind of batch evolution of.
Ibra says, "Side note, thoughts on Crawford win." So last week we were talking about.
You said Crawford.
We did call it, but
I didn't think it'd be like that.
My friends are like, "No, Crawford's older than Canelo," and I was like, "Oh yeah, he actually is."
Is he actually? I did not know he's older.
30, I think Canelo's 35 and Crawford is 37. If I'm not wrong.
I didn't
know it. I was just like, naturally, I just thought Crawford's the younger guy for some reason, because I'm not so used to seeing him in the arena. I think that's probably
makes it way more impressive though, because I actually thought Canelo was a few years older, but that just makes it so. Bro,
he was great. He was great. Crawford,
I did not expect
round 9 was amazing.
Oh yeah, round 9 was it. That was. I was off my seat, off my bed. I don't know even where I was watching it, but I think that.
I tried to stay up for it, but I couldn't. Honestly, I couldn't.
What's that?
I tried to stay up for the fight, and it got to like 4 a.m. and I was like, "Nah, this ain't happening."
I did
and then I woke up and I was like, "Oh."
No, I do what I use for UFC. UFC is like on at 3 a.m. usually. I just knock out, turn my phone off. You know, I'm not obtainable for the next 24 hours. Yeah, Ibra, good shout on that. I actually think Netflix are doing it like an amazing job on these event style streams, man. Like, I wouldn't have never thought it. Obviously, you've got the good old Sky Sports, ESPN. What's the other one called? The boxing focused one as well. Yeah, DAZN. you just think they're just going to carry on. But Netflix, I think they've broke many records. Obviously, the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson one, that was, wouldn't even really call that a boxing match. But but then again, also Dana.
Everyone's got Netflix. They've got a smart model there. They stream it on there, and they've got tons of people who will be new Netflix subscribers. With Netflix, you're just, once you're subscribed, you're subscribed.
Oh, you're a lifer, bro. You're a lifer.
Everything's on there. And
I still can't believe back in the day we used to have channels 1 to 5. If you're lucky, you had cable TV or you had the dodgy box. All right, but
5 in our household, we never had a Sky. We had Sky, and then we would cancel it straight away.
Yeah, I never had cable. I just used to go to neighbours' houses or my cousins. But yeah, no, I think Netflix they're doing a great job. But they've got an interesting story, man. I just think, it's even if you look at the, not back to mining specifically, but you see what Netflix did to blockbusters. Like, I just feel like some industries are just, if we look at mining, if we look at other industries, they
augmented reality. Sorry, but them meta glasses. Imagine that in mining, and imagine when AI gets so powerful that you look, you got your glasses on, and all this stuff's happening, and it will explain 101 real easy to you.
Thank you, Anton.
Thank you, Anton. Our biggest fan.
We appreciate it. Genuinely appreciate
We
you.
do appreciate you.
We'll reach out to you, buddy. Cheers. Thank you.
We know you're not a bot. We were just kidding. It's that British sense of humor. We're very dark humor, they call it. I think that's what it's called, Baron.
Yeah, is that what they call it?
Dark humor.
Or it's just humor?
It's just humor. And you say, I don't want to get into it.
But yeah, so like I think so on that notion of like mining and like using those headsets. So like it was when it was 2017 maybe. I think that's when VR became like a really big thing, right? Conferences over London. I could hear myself for some reason. Yeah, but PlayStation had to release their stuff. So it's a big fanfare there. There's no metaverse around that time either.
I can hear your echo as well.
You can hear my echo.
You probably got an app open or something.
Oh, I know.
Bit better.
No, I'm still getting it.
No, you're right.
But I think one of the biggest use cases that VR saw was actually B2C side.
Echo, apparently.
What is that? Is
it me?
Okay, what about
I can hear music now. I can hear music playing. A little bit. We're gonna lose our audience, brother.
No.
They're gonna leave us. There's 16 of them.
Yeah, but basically with VR stuff, B2C didn't get as much fanfare. It was actually B2B, and specifically like safety and training. So what they used to do is, I think for one of the train companies, whether it's US or UK focused, I forgot, but basically like train deaths, like engineers and field service technicians, when they work on the railways, like there's a lot of basically field deaths. And what they used to do is just show videos, and that was their training. But then they started actually incorporating VR into it, and specifically, having these scenarios where they are, pretending to work on a specific area, and trains would kind of fly by. But that immersiveness, that type of training, it reduced like casualties for that year, like significantly. But so I can imagine on mining and other similar industries, like VR being useful for that. But then
already, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they probably do. But I think what you were saying is the mixed reality, augmented reality displays. I think that'd be pretty cool, but it probably requires a significant amount of investment to do something like that to make it more applicable.
Yeah, for sure. You sound Barry, getting tired.
I'm pretty good, but we've got 16 followers, viewers, whatever. But
we give another 10 minutes.
Yeah, another 10 minutes. What other stuff has happened this week?
I don't know. I've been quite. I don't know. I've been what's the word for it? I've been quite I want to say ill. Just, pretty distracted. Quite distracted this week. So I haven't really been doom scrolling as much.
Seems like there was another cyber attack at TFL.
Sorry?
There was another cyber attack as well.
Where?
For the TFL.
TFL, okay.
Teenager.
Well, what is the TFL for the viewers are not from?
Oh, Transport for London, guys.
Transport.
So what started to happen is you had M&S cyber attack, Jaguar Land Rover. Apparently, the cyber attack on Jaguar Land Rover, they have had to put a significant amount of staff on furlough, and they are not able to recover for the rest of this year.
Oh, geez.
So
That's what cyber attack can do.
And it's usually teenagers now. So you've got really smart teenagers who are AI and digital native, and they can now army of AI bots helping them hack.
That's crazy.
That's some crazy. Wish we could have an army of AI bots work for us, which we could in theory.
We can have loads of bots working for us. That's the future. Future is AI. Baron,
Yeah.
what are you saying then?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking at that. I'm getting tired as well.
My social battery's like 0.
Huh?
My social battery's like 0 today. It's been one of them days, you just can't break down with a cold or something. Something's floating around. Everyone's ill.
Everybody's been ill. It's the weather change. That's what everybody's kind of saying. It's the weather change.
The weather change. It's COVID. Some people love COVID, didn't they? It was a big break.
Yeah, it was like a
9 months or a year off.
It was like a summer holidays, but
it feels like it wasn't real.
Yeah, for you, it must have been crazy though, being in a totally different country.
Yeah, I got bored after a while.
No, sorry. I ain't gonna lie. It sounded like you had an amazing time being in Bolivia. Like, it sounds like, oh no, I'd love to eventually come with you.
Cool, Bolivia's cool.
Yeah,
South America, great people.
Where in Bolivia?
Great food. Sorry?
Where in Bolivia?
Santa Cruz de la Sierra. I think I said it right.
Bolivia. Santa.
So it's in the middle.
Oh, look at this place.
No, it's nice. It's obviously a landlocked country, so you don't have the beach. But if you love tropical weather, the jungle, monkeys.
Look at this. Look at this. This is where Umar was chilling during lockdown.
God, let me add it to stage. I wasn't really chilling outdoors though.
Umar, is it what? Santa Cruz?
Fine, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's the right one.
Look at this.
Yeah, I didn't really step into the jungle, if I'm honest. Like, it would get these wild cats. They'll eat me up.
You saw jaguars, mate.
I didn't see anything, I'll be honest with you.
Don't lie.
The only lions I saw, they looked malnourished and they were in the zoo.
Oh, no way.
Zookeepers in Bolivia.
That's crazy. Oh, dude, this is crazy, man.
Yeah, it's a beautiful country. I think it's only got a population of like 14 million, so not overpopulated. It's a country that's developing.
Well, let's see what's here to do. Things to do in Santa Cruz, guys.
Is that the right Santa Cruz? Yeah, Bolivia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Must be the right one.
All right. So.
Oh, actually, it doesn't look like the right one. Actually,
not the right one.
Is it say? Yeah, it is the right one. It is the right one. Sorry, my bad.
That's all right.
There's Santa Cruzes around the world.
I'm always about the nature and wildlife.
Award-winning Bolivian wines. Okay.
This is top 25 things to do. Whoever made this needs to be fired. It looks boring.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Look.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been to there, Guembe.
What's this?
It's like a little resort. I've been there a few times.
Oh, nice, that's lovely. All right.
Actually, I have one of our family friends. I think he owns it. That's an interesting story. But we didn't get any discount.
Is that sloth? Look at that sloth.
Yeah.
That is an interesting looking. I've never seen a sloth
Cool,
look like that in my life.
Yeah, you know what? It's just hanging about in the trees.
Yeah, but look at it. That just looks like a very untrustworthy sloth.
Nah, he's on smoke. He's on smoke, that one.
Maybe because we called him a bot.
He's a bot sloth.
All right, so this Ventura Mall.
Nice little mall there, yeah. It's a cool little mall. It's got your essentials. So it's not all the favelas.
The architecture looks cool though, man.
Yeah, I think this is from Spanish influence, some of the stuff. You know, the old. I'm not too sure my history on it, but I'm guessing that's what it is. What's that?
What do I do there? All right, let's just click the pictures then.
Samai Piata. I don't even see the stuff.
All right, so what is this?
It's probably some historic site.
Oh wow, look at that.
That's
Ooh,
nice little valley there. Plenty of trees. National Park, that's where I want to be at. That's me and Ryan want to be at.
You want to be there, man, with our jungle geo.
Jungle geo.
You know what though, yeah? Like doing like these wildlife things are like I think that's like some of the best stuff.
You spent a lot of time in, was it South Africa, right?
Yeah, so I did where is it? South Africa, Johannesburg, a place called Hartbeespoort. Me and Natal did, and her sister came as well. So we did like 6 weeks in Johannesburg, where we basically worked and volunteered at an sanctuary, wildlife sanctuary, right? Yeah, it was crazy, man. So it was a place called Glen Afrique. There it is, South Africa, Glen Afrique. So Glen Afrique was just insane, man. I can't explain like how big the land was. Glen Afrique, yeah. So they film loads of documentaries there, loads of movies. Like I'm talking about, like it's one family owns like as far as what I see, and they just have wild animals everywhere.
So like a safari.
No, dude, it's not even a safari. You basically have a resort in the middle, and you just have wild animals all around. And then you have a separate area for volunteers. So their business model was 12 grand each. You come down, you stay with us, food, get looked after, but you get to look after these animals, right? Zebras, wildebeest, giraffes, lions, tigers, leopards, cheetahs, hyenas, elephants, horses, and and this international group of people, like 24 people, and you're just there for weeks, and you meet so many cool people, cool stories. Yeah, dude, there's some like crazy stuff that we did there. Every morning you could go and walk with the elephants. So you go for a few mile walk with these 3 elephants, all females. And let me see if I can even, yes, as far as your eye can see. So dude, it was crazy. So you walk with elephants, but then it's funny because it's not just all chilling. You got to do some work. So
they've got you there as a glorified worker.
Basically, bro, I had to
to work.
I had to clean elephant poo every 2 days.
No way, big as well.
You basically you go into their space, you clean it out, and then you can take them for a walk. But these are wild animals to an extent, right? Some in captivity but they're still animals. They're elephants. So I don't trust them. So you just got to be careful. So you do that type of stuff. And then they had 3 lion prides, but 2 wild prides. So from the wild, they're not really fully captive. So but you can look in their eyes. That look in their eyes was totally different, man. Like they would look back at you like you were Munch. Oh yeah, so these are honestly, it was a scary thing, and you'd have to go into. They would get them to go into another part of the enclosure and quickly lock it up, and then you'd go in and you'd have to remove the carcasses, cleaning lion duty, and it was a bit bad, right? Because guys, herbivore turds smell. But goddamn, like a lion turd, whew, that stuff is crazy.
Great meat.
But yeah, but the thing is, like, I'm trying to go in there quickly. Everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, this is so great." I'm like, I'm going to try to get out of here quickly, because one day I looked at what was holding that pen of the cage where the male and female lions are. It was just a standard lock that you might use at the gym, and I was like, "Yo, if Mufasa or Scar here clocks it, they're just wipe this out." And then I was a bit chubs then as well, right? So like,
running away from the
a
body.
bit tasty Varin here, you know. They might get that Indian masala on it as well. but like, I'll say it straight. Like, you go to the zoo and you see an animal there, lion there. But when you look at like these wild lions, the way they look at you is like with pure anger. Like, you know, if that cage opens, they're not going to sniff you. They're going to go for the kill. And I think what I massively underestimated was the size of female lions. Like, dude, female lions are like so unbelievably big. It's so scary, man. Like how big these animals are.
They just grab hold of you. There's no way you're getting out. Like that.
Oh no, you're done. You're actually done, right? I would say also like the cheat. Let me see if I can find their Glen Afrique like Instagram page. This like
Google it.
Instagram, right?
Their website's terribly slow as well. You've got
I might reach. It might be a lead there. Might have to reach.
Oh no, you need a website. Got you.
We got you guys.
Got you, brother.
Glen Afrique Lodge Instagram. No, but people were great there, though, man. Like, I met a lot of amazing people. This is the lodge. Where's the other?
Zupu. That's what I saw.
No, but okay. So here, but thing is, what was like? Here is some crazy stuff. What's going on here? So yeah, what else did we do? Like, obviously, we looked after horses and stuff. Our crazy story with the horses. So they used to tell us that where you were, they had like electric fences, and it was mainly herbivores that were out in the wild. All the big cats were caged up. They had a hyena. So hyenas, first of all, like you see them in the wild, they're malnourished, they look crazy, they've got like a perception around them. But like this hyena,
how did it off?
look crazy, bro. they laugh like as you would imagine. But what was actually crazier was, firstly, how big it was. I'm looking down, expecting this thing to maybe be the size of a Rottweiler. I've never seen it was the size of a female lion, and I'm looking down, like I'm walking up to the pen, I can hear it cackling and laughing, and there's like good 10-20 people in front of me, and I'm like, cool, I'll just let everybody have their turn. So I'm looking at the floor expecting it to just be, you know, a decent size. And then I've just seen its paws, and I've just looked up, carried on looking up, and I was like, oh my God, it didn't look like it should be in this history of like civilization. Like, it should have been in the prehistoric age. But it was just so beautiful, bro. Like, yeah, that was pretty cool. And then, so, you know, they had all the carnivores locked up. They had one giraffe. Like, firstly, they had ostriches running around. Ostriches are dangerous. One kick in the stomach, they can rip your guts out. Then they had zebras running around. I think it was like heat season, so they would be just trying to chase people and bite. And, you know, if they could break a lion's jaw with a kick, what are they going to do to little old me, right? And then they had a giraffe, like a couple of giraffes, right? Most people think giraffes are, you know, it's calm, innit? They're just giraffes.
Oh, they're cute. They look like horses. Let me jump on it.
Bro, giraffes, yeah. So this one giraffe, yeah.
Oh, my bad. I just got mixed up with giraffes and zebras.
No, giraffes.
That's how cooked I am today.
so these giraffes, right? Send me Africa photos. So these giraffes, right? This giraffe was called Gerald, and
shout out Gerald the giraffe. I hope you're still doing well. He's still
alive.
Yeah,
he's alive. But I'll tell you a crazy story. So he's alive. And he just used to walk around. Anytime there'd be humans around, he just wants to come down and say, "Oh, what's going on here? This is my hood."
He's curious.
But one thing I clocked straight away, he had scars all over his body. And I'm like, what is that? Basically fights. And a giraffe, like their horns are, I would say, like quite easily, Umar, from the tip of your elbow to the tip of the finger, right? That's how big their ossicones are. So yeah, and then it just used to sometimes put its head low. So, you know, all the crazy American folk, right, would just, oh yeah, Gerald the giraffe. Me and the tail, I'm like, we don't trust it. You know, Asian mentality, right? You're right. And it just used to nudge its head a little bit. I'm like, nah, not going near it. Me and Tail ended up getting chased one day by it when we were trying to get coffee. Scariest thing of our lives. But then we come back about 6 months later. Tail has come to me and said, "You won't believe what Gerald did." What?
What did Gerald do?
Killed a film director.
No way.
Yeah. It's
the head.
Yeah, dude, like instant gone. And I just like, I knew it. I knew Gerald.
You
like,
didn't trust him from the get-go. Your gut was right.
Just don't trust giraffes, guys. And then another crazy thing that ended up happening was, so look, have you ever been horse riding?
Never.
Don't, bro.
I don't want to. My friend went horse riding. My friend Az, and he said he literally got the horse just went up, so on 2 feet, and he fell down. And he said he almost broke his back.
What, the horse fell on him?
No, the horse just, you know, when they do that thing when they like 2 legs up, boom, and then I think he basically got totaled. And then he said the way he fell, he said my back was absolutely gone. He said he didn't recommend it after that, but I guess he just had a bad horse.
No, bro. Like, so the workers there were like really friendly, really great, and you know, Cosmos just made like really good friends with them. So they used to look after me quite a bit and just, you know, make sure I get good food, all of this stuff. You know, you'd only have a quote of what animals you can see. They used to just let me do whatever I want, right? And you have to go clean the horse pens. And these are beautiful horses, right? But I don't like going in the pen. Like, horses are dangerous. So, you know, end of the day, I've done a bit of cleaning. All right, cool, done. And they're like, we're going to go horse riding. And they thought we're doing me a favor. They said, Baron, you get to ride the alpha horse.
Damn, you're winning.
I'm like, huh? Because I know, because I was like, same thing about Gerald, I get that vibe from him. I was like, no, it's cool, man, it's cool. No, you get Chief, man, you deserve it. All right, cool. How hard can it be? I jumped on Chief, you know, cool, do my bit. I don't know how to ride a horse. You're pulling it, whatever. But Chief, I wasn't riding Chief. Chief was kind of riding me, bro. So we've gone out now in the wild, And they were telling me, oh, by the way, guys, there is a hippo here, right? Hippos kill more people than crocodiles. They're like one of the biggest killers in Africa. And they are absolute tanks. Like, they are the size of a rhino, right? And do you know what people call their teeth? People call their teeth sabers.
They are sabers, though. You see them eat, like, you see them eat stuff and like watermelons and crush it.
Right, one bite, they'll kill anything, right? And I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's not a problem. Damn. And also I heard like this bull had killed other hippos, right? So I was like, okay, cool. So we're going riding, you know, there's about 8 of us. Chief is just at the back of the pack doing whatever with me, right? And then he sees water. He's like, oh, I'm going to go drink there. And I'm like, come on, mate, come on. Like, he ain't listening to me. And then probably about, I don't know, man, like 30, 40 meters ahead, I see bubbling in the water. And I'm just like, I hope that's not a hippo or crocodile. I'm like, come on, Chief. No, he's not budging. And then a hippo's head pops out, right? Big, like, bro, I would say the hippo's head was probably about 1 meter, right? I was like, oh, damn, Chief, come on, Chief. Chief ignores me, carries on drinking the water. Then I see more bubbles next to that hippo. I'm like, oh. And then the dad comes out. That was the baby, bro.
No way.
Bro, like, I can never really, like, put into words how big this thing is. Like, essentially, Chief,
especially the wild, pretty bigger than the zoo ones as well.
Bro, Chief looked at it and bounced
No way. He knew what's up. He knew what's up. He's, I'm gone.
Chief bounced, bro. I've actually got some cool photos actually from the trip as well. So like, where is it? 2 seconds. So like, these were like some of the. So they had some lion cubs, but these lot were like, they were good size, like size for a Rottweiler, but they were just naughty little buggers, man. That's Natal. Shout out the missus. Okay, so I saved my wife from a lion, guys.
No way.
This little lion, yeah, started biting her foot, right? And we're in one of their enclosures, and Natal's like, ow, ow, ow. Well, what are you going to do for the one that you love? And mind you, I proposed to her here as well in South Africa in a hot air balloon.
Yeah, no choice.
I had to go for it. I just went for it. Just pat, pat on the head twice.
You have to, isn't it?
Yeah, and then it started going for me. Only thing that stopped it was I backed up into the electric fence, got electrocuted, and electrocuted it at the same time. After that, it didn't come near me.
No,
Yeah. So this is the type of stuff that we'd be doing, man. Fixing the enclosures. You know, these are the cubs. Like, yeah, man, this is a crazy seeing
there
this
you
stuff.
are. Go on.
Here's an elephant. I forgot their names, but yeah, this is just some mountain stuff. I don't know. That's Chief, bro.
Just Chief.
That's
Big
Chief. Chief, you Chief.
Chief.
Right. Oh, here's me like getting booted. Yeah, it's just some crazy stuff. Is that it? Oh, I probably got some more photos. Natel's just hiding them. But yeah, dude. On that note, I'll end with my backside on the screen.
Was that you graffitiing up there as well?
Yeah, you know how it is. Everybody wrote their names, but I'm gonna go draw a 6-foot elephant and go peace out.
Do you think it's still there?
Yeah, no, it's still there, except people have wrote their names all around it, acting like they did it. Copyright.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll get back there and sort them out.
But cool, guys. Should we call it a night?
Guys, we're hitting the 3-hour mark. Appreciate everyone who joined, listened in. You know, like, subscribe, share. The numbers are slowly going up.
Warren.
Wow.
I appreciate Warren. I appreciate that, bro.
Good little story there. A bit of story time.
Thank you, bro.
It's been an interesting one. We had some great guests on. We had Sean, who's an absolute
Sean's a cool guy. He's a legend.
Right. He just joins in, has a ball full of energy, especially like when you have times like me right now. I have 0 social battery, and I'm like, oh. But we still do it. We still got to turn up.
Do you know one thing I will say about Sean as well? Like, we owe nothing. There's nothing owed. He's just done it out of the goodness of our heart. Umar's built a great relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously, like Umar, bro, like you're authentic, and then he's authentic, and it's just he's
a great person. You know, but he's supported us from day one, pretty much.
Oh, he's going to be a big part of our journey for sure, right? Mm-hmm. But you know what? Jimmy Gravel, man.
Jimmy's got stories, man. He's holding back.
He is holding back.
Trying to extract him. Next week, we were going to push him. We're going to be like, yo. But we've got hopefully another mining CEO on next week as well. We'll definitely start putting more information in the descriptions. Obviously, these things go on for 3 hours, and I think we got other chapters to it. There's a lot of things we're just playing around with right now. We're just messing around, just trying to tweak as we go. Look, Varun, your camera looks absolutely sick.
Oh, guys! So anybody, I'm using the iPhone. So just tip for anyone.
I'm using my Mac.
Yeah, if you don't want to use your MacBook, just connect up your iPhone to your laptop just for a while. Huh?
It looks super crispy.
Oh, it is, man. Like even my background here, guys. This isn't a fake little thing.
It looks fake, but it's not. There you go. Look, it's real.
Real.
It's real.
Real, bro.
Good Varun.
Yeah, I was about to bust out some moves.
Yeah. They're pretty like, what's this guy? Go on. Oh, there you go. Hey, little body pop there, yeah.
Body pop. I'll pop my slip disc probably if I do.
Yeah, you're moving too hard.
But guys,
I need to upgrade my little camera as well. But it is what it is. We're just trying to have fun.
We're going to see a lot of cool changes. Umar, myself, Ibrahim, the guys are going to do to the back. Just keep an eye on Umar's background.
Yeah. We're hopefully going to be in one studio eventually. We're just working on it. We're working our way through it. Just getting those practice rounds in. as you do training, practice, as Kobe says.
Crawford out here, right? That's it. That's what we're doing.
We're just practicing. We're just having fun, enjoying it, unedited. You know, sometimes you might not get what we're saying. You know, it is actually 11 p.m. out there. Yeah. So but usually I start waking up at 11. You know,
Yeah, I know.
my brain goes nuts when it gets late.
I wake up like 7 or whatever time, like any time between like 4 and 7 p.m. and then I just
PBD. We got the PBD thing. It was a funny story. I've got it here. So Patrick Bet-David. I remember when we, you know, we've got him as a vision board. I nicked the idea from Patrick Bet-David in our office. So we have a. We'll show you.
Show it. Can you show it?
I can't because it's just too dark in here. But it's like, you know, we've got PBD, Warren Buffett, Sir Alex Ferguson, Steve Jobs, Cristiano Ronaldo, Muhammad Ali, the GOAT, Malcolm X, Senna, and Nipsey Hussle. So we have a portrait of all these, you know, amazing people. And I remember me and Varun was like, "Who's PBD?" And I was like, "Oh, Patrick Bet-David." I said, "You know, I'm watching this guy's podcast since, you know, he started, and you know, he's had a huge growth. You know, I find he's like he's a really good host. He does great content, and you know, he's got some great values." And I was like, "Varun, just chuck PBD in there." So Varun's
I said to Umar, I was like, "You're putting them on the same line."
Right?
Warren Buffett and Sir Alex.
Warren Buffett.
Yeah, and I was like, same line, yeah, because I haven't come across Patrick Bet-David, and I was like, oh, cool, like, you know, end of the day, it's a mixture of people that inspire all of us. So I was like, cool, man, and I agree with Umar after he put me on to Patrick Bet-David.
Where did he comment back? So we took a picture and I tagged him.
Instagram,
right?
No, it was Instagram. Yeah, it's Instagram. Yeah.
Instagram. No, it was X and Instagram. He did both. So we basically. So what we did was we took a picture and we shared it. What's Ibra doing? Is he trying to jump on stage?
Ibra, come jump on. You got something to say? Turn your camera on.
Oh, wait. I don't know if he's ready. He just joined. We didn't know what he was doing. You want to jump on? Let us know. Yeah. So we took a picture. Because my bad. Oh, he's probably getting changed. Ready for bed. So yeah, we took a picture of PBD. We tagged him in it on Instagram and on X, and then he replied. He was like, "Love it." I actually want to find it. Where is it?
No, I'm looking at the archives of our social.
He actually viewed the story. He liked it. He goes, "Love it," or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said. But Big PBD reached out.
Let me just check.
He loved Varun's what is it? Sketch
or creative direction, right? Hold on. Do we have it now? Let's check.
I swear we got it. It'd be interesting. Let me see. Was it?
In yeah. 2 seconds. Hold on. Where's the? Let me just share. I've got the raw. I haven't got him, but I've got the raw visual of the artwork.
There's a visual to everyone. And then we had. I'll find out where it was. It was. I'll find the archive.
There it is.
Yeah, so it's this. That's what we got.
That's what we got. We got these posters in our office.
Yeah, and then Big PBD reached out, and he was like, "I love it. I love the inspiration," because I think that's what it was. I think we were just like, you know what?
Oh no, it wasn't this. No, it was that, but we made him on a throne.
Oh, that was no. Did he like that one?
Yeah.
No. It's here. I got it. It was actually. I've got it here. It's jokes. That's so funny.
Still got 16 viewers, man. I appreciate every single one of you. 80. No, just like honestly, appreciate it, guys. Technical difficulty. That's my bad. Ibra, I think you should jump on into these late night evening chats as well.
Yeah, there you go. I got it. He just said nice. And then he liked you. Oh, I got it here. I'm gonna send it to you now. Varad, how do I give this to you?
Just WhatsApp it.
All right, let me just screenshot it. I think I posted on mine and he said nice. I'll WhatsApp it to you now. Gonna send it to you now. And then on the Twitter as well, he was all over it. I was like, oh, fair. The guy looks at his messages. Said it to you, Aaron. What do we got? When making decisions, isn't it better to draw on the experience of those who inspire us? And then we put PBD in there, and then he wrote, I don't know, what about inspiration from your, I don't know what that says at the end, from your portrait. He's got a crazy portrait of so you can share it here. Look, add to stage. I added to stage. Here you go.
That?
Oh, I did add it to stage.
2 seconds. The one and only.
So you know what? It worked, Baron. I told you.
Yeah, I know, bro. That's why I did it.
We'll recognize the rule. No, we just get started. We're having fun. You know, these lives are just about having fun, bringing in people from different points of view, different generations. Get PBD on next. Yeah, he does. We would love to have PBD on. Maybe in a few years. You know what? Once we build this up, we're gonna get PBD on.
We'll just knock on his door.
Right now we're just babies in this live streaming internet realm.
We're crawling right now. We're not even crawling. You know, like when you put a baby and they can barely do the stomach time, the tummy time.
yeah, we're on tummy
right
time.
now, me and Uma on tummy time now. Right, guys.
For real. No, but appreciate everyone. It's been really good. You know, again, thanks Hayden and the whole team who jumped on to make it interesting. Other me and Varun would just be waffling for like 3 hours.
Yeah, no, we have been, and we'll carry on doing the next thing.
No, we will. We always try to end it on more of a lighter note. And yeah, we would be getting tons of guests on. A lot of people have reached out via LinkedIn and X, being like, "Hey, love what you're doing. Love to be on, you know, your lives." So that's great, especially from the mining community. I'm like, wow, okay, people actually are interested in what we're talking about. They want to jump on, have a real conversation. You know, maybe get asked some difficult questions, and I think mainly, I think I love people's stories. I think that's what it is. That's what brings us together is story, right? You know, you grow up on stories. First thing is, you know, bedtime stories, and it turns into movies, Disney, then you get real life stories. And that's why we watch long form content nowadays as well. Everyone's obsessed with podcasts, lives, you know, learning about other people, learning about, you know, interesting individuals that don't see the spotlight. And I really hope that, you know, one day we'll have a big enough audience that we can actually get some big boy guests on. We've got some planned anyway. We've got some big boys planned.
We have indeed.
Let's see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. No, we'll make it, like we said, we'll make it happen. We'll keep turning up. I think that's what everybody can expect of Umar, myself, and the rest of the boys.
Yeah.
Just keep turning up and doing our thing. All right, man, you're right. Right.
Kicking you out.
Nobody's kicking me out. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get some food. I'm starving.
No, I'm starving as well. Thank you guys, appreciate it. We'll be back next Friday. Yeah, and during the week we'll probably get into some more podcasts. You know, eventually, I think we're gonna start doing some recorded content, more vlogs. I know Sean wants to get me and Varun out to Morocco. You know, I think we've got the Swiss Mining Institute coming up in November. So we got some interesting stuff.
That's going to be fun, right? Swiss Mining Institute. In Zurich, right?
Yeah, Geneva or Zurich, one of the others. Never been there. It's only a day, I think, or two, right? It's a couple of days.
Is that what hotel is that called?
I don't know, but I saw that was like £800 a night. I'm not there yet.
We're
doing it, brother. We're doing it. We're staying with the big boys.
I think it's at the Dondola Grand Zurich, right? Let me just even.
I'm sharing, Dory. I'm quick with this.
You're quick with this. So the Dondola Grand. Oh damn! Look at this.
what is it? Bloody castle.
That don't look real.
Don't look real.
What is the Dondola Grand? So yeah, guys, we're heading off to the Dondola Grand. I think Umar's did a brilliant job to get us snuck into. Wow, what a lovely website as well.
No, we're investors, bro. You know what
We're
I'm saying?
investors, so yeah,
we are. And you know, we've got a whole retail community, and this is half the journey. It's like, you know, I think when I went to one-to-one mining in London, great event. And I think I was a little bit controversial on the old LinkedIn, and I think it attracted a lot of people. But you know, that's how I met Sean. I think Sean Heinrichs from 911 Gold, which I've invested into, which is doing really well. I think he's up like 40-50%, or for me he's even more. It's probably like 150%, right? But in general, since I put the idea out on TradingView, it's up like 50%. And yeah, he's the one who, you know, reached out to Sean Tufford, you know, our regular co-host, and he was like, "Hey, have you heard of this Umar kid?" And then the rest was history. We became like best buddies. We're all over the WhatsApp. He's calling me every day, and you know, we love it. I think it's been an interesting journey. You know, I think that's how you have to get out of your comfort zone. You know, usually I wouldn't really, like, you know, I've been to Mines of Money originally, and I wouldn't say I found it fun. It was cool, but at that point, I didn't really invest because I was just kind of just, you know, perusing around, having little meetings here and there. And when I got to one-to-one mining, I was just like, you know, there's some really good personalities out here, and you know, how can I? It's like the saying is, you want to cut through the noise, cut through the BS, and find a good company to invest in that's gonna take care of your money. And 911 Gold was one of those companies.
It's not
Met
a
Sean
lifestyle.
Heinrich. He knows what he's doing. He's got a great mind there. They've got a lot of great assets. I think they've even got a plant already there. Great staff. Still think there's a lot of there's a lot of value still remaining. So if you want to get in there, I think it's still a good time. Yeah, you can check my forecasts out. I think they're on my LinkedIn and X.
But also just make sure you do your own research. You know,
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not. What do they call it? What's that
I don't
disclaimer?
know the term, but I just know.
You don't trust us.
Do your own research.
Do your research. Invest how you want to invest. Not financial. That's it. We're not financial advisors. That's one thing we're not. We're not telling you to invest into something. These are just our personal opinions. And you know, we invest into what we want to invest into, and we have fun with it. And you know, we like to think we choose good investments, and that's what we would do at the Swiss Mining Institute. We'll, you know, go around and we'll look for the golden nugget.
Quite literally.
Yeah. So
Cool.
on that
note, guys, thank you very much, Umar. A good chat as
you
always.
too, Harry.
And yeah, let's just get our asses home, and get to sleep, and enjoy our weekend. And then, guys, tune in next week, Friday.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate everyone. Peace out.